Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to a special Monday night edition of Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. We're actually taking this Wednesday off, and well, in part because I'm actually going to be heading out of town tomorrow, as a matter of fact, for the week. But so we just wanted to do a special Monday night podcast since I'm heading out of town tomorrow, and then we'll be taking Wednesday off. But we'll be back to our regular scheduled time of next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hey, great seeing everyone in the live chat. Don't call me Danny, Born Distracted. Daniel, Mitchy Dies a lot. Great seeing you guys. Thanks for coming to hang out with us this evening. And yeah, we got some video game news to talk. Kind of before the podcast started, I've been actually watching my Washington Caps take a beating right now from the Carolina Hurricanes, down 3-0. But Alex Ovechkin did drop their 19-year-old rookie, knocked him out cold. It was one of the craziest fights I've seen in a long time in hockey, and Alex just gave him the business and knocked him out cold. So hopefully the Caps can turn things around. I'm positive. Hopefully my Stanley Cup chance can turn things around. So we'll see. What's up, Chief Tomei? No, excuse me, guys. Got to take a drink. Um, some of the other guys should be joining us shortly. But on that note, yeah, a lot of gaming related things to talk about this week so far. A lot of newsworthy items. We're going to be talking about Sony's mantra for the gamers. Are they really for the gamers? Considering what we just heard about them blocking Bungie from allowing cross progression. What's up, Envy of Astora? That's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting conversation. We have some leaked news regarding the new Xbox One S,
Oh, you went
which I
live
think
already,
is
huh?
probably going to be revealed, if I'm not mistaken, probably sometime tomorrow, I think, during Inside Xbox. What's up, E-Money?
Yo, what's up, man? Went live like a brat rant.
Yeah, hey, how is D Wade County, man?
I'm gonna miss that guy, man.
He was a goat.
Yep,
He was a goat in South Beach, man.
once in a lifetime player, man.
You mean Paul Pierce?
Tuh.
Yeah,
All wishes, man.
yeah. So, Forte, what's going on, man? I guess he's plugging his mic up. Yeah, I just we had some people in the live chats. I was like, let me just go live. I knew you guys would be trickling in soon, so
Yeah, for
figured I'd.
this Monday night impromptu brat podcast.
Yeah, it's the Monday night version of BRAP.
Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, it's the wrestling version, brother.
What's going on, man?
Not a whole lot, man. Just packing, getting ready to go to the beach tomorrow. I'm gonna be there till come back next Monday.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my PlayStation 4 with me though.
Man, yeah, you gotta take that babysitter.
Yeah, gotta play some Sekiro, man, when I'm at the beach. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
You know?
I just got back into it last night.
Nice, man.
Yeah, I took like a little bit of a break after doing the Bloodborne thing, and I played through Metro Last Light. Just and I finished that a couple days. I kind of cruised through it. Good games though, man. Really good games, and I just
Sorry,
jumped
man.
back in.
Don't mean to yawn. It's not you, man. Just it's been a long day.
Nah, no problem, man. No problem.
Yeah. So heading out of town, man. Just looking to have some downtime and play some Sekiro, man. Go take the PlayStation 4 Pro with me.
That's what's up, man. Now, we hear you, Forte, but you sound like you're in a vacuum. Yeah.
Yeah, I can barely hear Forte at all.
They got him.
Check his mic. Turn my mic up. Turn me up.
Yeah, so I just got back into Sekiro last night. Got in there and mixed it up with what's his name? General not General. Yeah, that guy.
What about now?
Hey, there you go, man.
Yeah. That's basically what he says. He's coming out the gate. Oh, yeah.
Well, that's what happens when your kids mess with your audio levels on your mixer.
Yeah.
I trolled you.
I was like, why is my mixer turned all the way to 2%?
Yeah, trolling you.
Gyubu Oniwa.
Yeah, go.
Y'all having a good old time. What was really going on?
Talking about Sekiro, man.
Talking about Sekiro talk, man.
Oh,
running around giving everybody dragon rot.
Yeah, right.
It's like HPV.
I'm crazy, man. It's like HPV. You wild, Eric. You were wild, dude. Come on. Oh shit, man. Oh my god, that is terrible, man.
I know, right?
Hey, big shout out to Glorious Ward. Just said he just platinum Sekiro today. Nice, man.
Oh my man,
you got a
slow-mo backslap.
Screw G stuff right there, Glorious War.
Yeah. What's up, Slow-mo? Yeah.
You know, Slow-mo don't want to play a real game like Sekiro, you know.
Wow. Look, man, Slow-mo has been here for like a minute. You're already giving him the business.
I'm just giving him business because I ain't seen him in a week.
That's all good. I don't care. Literally, Slow-mo don't care. I do not care about Sekiro or anyone who wants to claim I'm not playing a real. I don't care. Like literally, like none of that stuff bothers me whatsoever. Listen, you guys enjoy your controller breaking and bang your head against the wall.
Listen. Listen, if you ever downplay anything Slow-mo does and he doesn't say anything about it, that means he really truly doesn't care. Because if he really cared, he always likes to win, remember? So he will find a way to defeat every argument you have. So that lets you know that he don't give a fuck about this game.
Yeah, you know what? Forte is right.
Almost like
I have zero cares about this game. Like, like I will say this one thing about Sekiro over the other From Software games. I do like the way the movement and the animation of your main character a lot better. It's a lot it's a lot quicker than the previous games. That was always been like the biggest turn off for me. But I mean, I have Bloodborne. I got it free with PS Plus. Yeah, and I'm just like, I have yet to ever even put it on. So
see, Slow-mo don't even play games that they give them for free on PlayStation.
And honestly, they don't give a lot of good games on PlayStation.
No, they don't, bro.
They don't. I mean, they every now and then they throw you a bone, like Destiny 2. You know, like what was that?
Well, that was a bone that they gave everybody.
Yeah,
except for Xbox.
Yeah. But I mean, that was like September. Like that's the last game I can think of that was like I actually paid attention to what PS Plus was giving. Yeah. But how are you gentlemen doing?
We're doing very well there, Slow-mo. There, buddy.
Doing good, man. Off for the next 2 days. Do absolutely nothing but play games.
Oh man, I got like Glorious War says From Software too artistic for Slow-mo dude bro taste.
Bringing that heat.
Hey, look, Glorious War. I'll happen to let you know that I've played very indie and very different games like The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, What Remains of Edith Finch, Tacoma. Have you played those games, sir?
So basically,
you probably have not.
Well, Glorious War. If you just listen to the games he just mentioned, he played games that your 2-year-old can go through.
So here you go. Look,
you just struck a nerve. See, it was 14.
Yep, there it is. There's the nerve.
No, actually not at all. Actually, because this is those games are like really easy to play and they're different and they're like.
They're really Tacoma, good experiences.
Yeah. They're good. Like Tacoma's like 3 hours, I think. And I think the other one's slightly more, but no more than 10 hours. He has played those games good. So you actually have some taste in gaming and you're not just here trolling in the chat. Good for you, Glorious. I'm happy for you, bro.
I don't know if he should take. I don't know if he should take that as sarcasm or not.
He'll figure it out.
What slow-mo are we getting in this conversation right now?
he'll figure it out.
He called you slow Mountain Dew, bro.
Did you say you got the platinum in Tacoma? Man, don't be. You can't. That's the one thing you can't do is rep a platinum in a game that took you 3 hours to get.
Yeah, that's nothing to rep. I mean, okay.
Now you tell me you got it in Spider-Man going after all those freaking pigeons. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, I did get the platinum in that. Now, the pigeons weren't the worst for me. The backpack.
Hey,
oh my
god, that's not always true though, man. There could be some 2 or 3 hour games that can be a bitch to try to get the platinum in.
You know what was
some of these big games can be kind of easy.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
The hard first thing for me in my in God of War to get that platinum was the birds you have to find.
Mm-hmm.
And that it was just tedious.
Yes, the birds.
I specifically remember like wasting like half an hour trying to get this one backpack in Spider-Man that was like under a bridge. And it was like the placement of the backpack was like too close to a pillar. So like every time I got close to it, Spider-Man would just fall. He would just fall for no reason away from the backpack. So it's like I had to like approach. It took me half an hour to figure out how to approach it from a specific angle, and then like jump at it and hit X at the right moment in order for it to activate that. Yeah, I actually got the backpack. It took forever. I was so upset with that, man. It was just like, what is happening here? Why did they put this here?
Slow-mo basically like they wasted my damn time for 30 minutes.
Yeah. I
could have been playing Call of Duty for the last 30 minutes.
I was so tired of those zones. I was so tired of zones going for that platinum. Man. I was like, oh, these zones.
Oh, Chief told me bring up something. Did you guys see the Forza Street reveal announcement trailer? What did y'all think of it?
I saw the reaction. I didn't actually see the reveal.
He said I saw the reaction.
I
saw the reaction.
I'm currently dealing with some of the reaction based off a tweet I made about half an hour ago.
Oh boy, what did you tweet out, Slow-mo?
Said something the pot.
I'm gonna paraphrase it. I said, Forza Street coming to everything, including your microwave, including a microwave near you. Oh wait, my bad. Except the Xbox. And then I put a shaking my head, the Prince shaking my head gif, and then people all jumped in the chat and the replies like, well, the game's not that good anyway. You don't want this game. And I'm like,
man, I love how people use that damn energy, man. Like, game's not good.
No one's forcing you to download it. No one's forcing you to download it.
Well, you're right. It's so good it can't even show up on the Xbox.
Yeah, I'm like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. It should not be up to Xbox Game Studios whether people on the Xbox are going to get that game or not. Give them the option. You said you are play everywhere. Would actually be play everywhere and stop faking. Stop faking.
Look, man, why can't it show up in Game Pass, man? You know, Game Pass need as many games as it can get.
Are you saying there's some fraudery going on with Microsoft Game Studios and their commitment to anywhere?
Oh, that play anywhere thing dead, bro.
Oh, that
that's dead.
Came and it went.
They ain't talked about play anywhere in a long time.
No, I haven't heard play anywhere in a minute.
Ever since Shannon Loftus came out and said, we really don't see that much crossover from the PC and console community anyway. It's like, yeah, this thing's dead.
Yes. Hey, big shout out to the Iron Lords podcast, by the way. I was on there yesterday afternoon with my man Boomstick XL.
Look at you, man. I saw that show. I was like, look at these two lucky characters that grace themselves in the realm. Like literally this like your second time and Boone's like fourth time in the last 3 months.
Yeah, Rika has keys to the apartment.
Look, me and
I do.
Waiting for our invite. You know, Cognito, you gotta make that happen, bro. You know, we got schedules to keep up, so you gotta make sure that we get on that show.
Yeah, but I just want to give a big shout out to BG Weapon Wheel Podcast. I was on there yesterday as well.
Yeah, you was on there too. I
had a good time, man. It was a good time. So, definitely check out those guys if you get a chance.
Did they call you a Fugle?
No, we didn't talk about Google or streaming. But it's funny, like BG was like, because we're talking about like Tiger Woods and we're talking about like gaming and stuff and kids gaming. He's like, man, I don't have any kids. That's why I had 4 kids. He's like, man, what if I have kids? What if my kids suck at gaming? Like, it's like my kids aren't old enough for me to tell whether or not they're gonna suck yet. But
it depends on what they're playing too.
Yeah. They're not playing like Souls or anything. They're not there yet.
You put them in competitive games and they'll never suck. Make them start at an early age.
Fortnite.
I don't know about that, man. I just let my kids play whatever they want to play.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, I agree with that. I'm just saying if you want to guide your kids' gaming future towards a future that doesn't suck, you make them play hard games from the beginning and say get good.
Well, my 5-year-old's playing Castlevania and Ghosts and Goblins.
Well, see, he's already started out good. Dude.
He likes it. But he gets frustrated though. I'm like, nah, you can't quit, man. You can't quit.
See, look, Enrique up here tells us, man, you can't quit. Well, Daddy, you gotta help me. He's like, son, I beat this game when I was 4 years old.
He was shooting hoops the other day. He couldn't make a basket, and he's like, man, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm like, nah, you can't quit.
Shot, man.
No, I wasn't blocking shot. I wouldn't do that to him. I was like, man, you can't. I was like, you can't quit. I was like, you can't quit. He's like, no, I don't want to. I was like, you can't quit. Keep doing it. He started hitting some shots. He's like, oh, I got it. I'm like, see, you gotta practice, man.
I need to go buy my daughter I need to buy my daughter a rapid fire controller because she's been playing a lot of Mortal Kombat.
Oh, nice.
And she's been doing the test your might stuff, and she's on the very last test your might, so she could get it's still a rare trophy on Xbox, and it's beating like an aluminum frame, and you have to hit the button so fast to get this to happen. She tried to get me to do it for her. I sat there for like 30 minutes, like, nah, son, my fingers don't move that fast anymore. So I might have to buy her a rapid controller so she can cheat and get that damn achievement because she's like on this real big achievement trip right now. I don't know who started this.
This got it from you, man. Watching you play games.
I stopped playing. I stopped chasing achievements. I stopped chasing achievements a long time ago, man.
Remember that? Remember that? Where did you find this? I learned it from watching you. She learned from me watching me too, and she learned that her dad is quitting and he ain't doing that. My fingers ain't gonna break trying to hit a button 100,000 miles per hour. Shit. Yeah.
You know what? I guarantee none of y'all can do it.
Hey,
none of y'all can do it. I'll put money on that.
Yeah. Board distracted.
But then again, I might lose all my money messing around with y'all. Slow mo, find a way. He'll cheat and find a way to do it.
Hey, what's going on with Apple? Chief told me he's talking about Apple, the biggest company in the world. Might do. What is going on with Apple?
Apple. I think the last thing I heard was someone said they were spending $500 million on their Apple gaming platform. And those games that are exclusive coming out from the Apple Store will be are only exclusive for like 6 months or something like that. But which is fine, which is a lot better than what I thought it was. I thought they were exclusive forever, but I don't know what kind of games they are. I don't know if they're just like those mobile kind of games that you're used to seeing.
Did you say 500 million?
Yeah, they spent 500 million.
That ain't nothing, man. Destiny by itself was 500 million for one game over 10 years.
All right, well then, I mean,
you're talking about shovelware at that point, bro.
Yeah, I'm not even like.
I mean, Halo is being rumored to be 500 million, which is a damn lie. Maybe with marketing.
Well, I mean, these aren't likely AAA games, but look, like somebody.
You're right,
but not even. AA is anywhere between 20 and 25 million. So I mean, it could be a little bit more than like shovelware, and still it all depends on how they spend it though.
So you basically saying we can get about 10 Hellblades out of this?
Maybe. I guess it just depends on the quality of the devs that they have under their umbrella.
Come on, Caps.
I don't trust anything that. I jumped in the boat with Apple for phones a long time ago. I'm not jumping in with games too.
Yeah, I
left Apple phones.
Yeah, Apple is in the same boat as Google. They don't really know what they're doing with this stuff. They got a lot of money.
People say that about Microsoft.
Well, yeah, and Microsoft's kind of proved. They really ain't know what they was doing with a lot of stuff.
That's example, Enrique.
Exactly.
Some Somebody, you gotta piss some people off, man. We're gonna get hate. We're gonna get that one guy that always comments in the comment section after the podcast.
Yeah, he's gonna leave like 11 messages.
What is he's like slow-mo?
Back slappiest.
Yeah. Slow-mo backslap. You were wrong. You want beef? Fucking represent.
Standing out there like Sato calling out Miyagi. Slow-mo!
Slow-mo!
Get out here, coward!
Get out there!
Get over here, slow-mo!
Are you crazy? I don't know why I sound like Arnold when I said that. Get out there now!
Get out there now!
Was it like a tsunami or something that hit, or like a monsoon? Like a monsoon
to fight.
It was a monsoon. Come inside.
Fam, I'm trying to get this beam off your chest. You talking shit?
Miyagi-san, I'm so sorry.
Sato.
Who is Sato's apprentice who got angry, like ran in the middle of the monsoon? He just went running, crying.
His nephew.
Yeah, his nephew.
Yo, shit was real in Okinawa, man.
Yeah, Uncle, you disgraced family.
Yo,
you
are dead.
DJ Singh in the chat said, as a guy who's been to Japan, my ears are bleeding.
You should have heard the Sekiro talk earlier. Oh my goodness!
Oh man!
I ain't gonna lie though. I can't play that game with the English with the English language.
You gotta hear it sometime, man. Because that.
No, I have.
My name.
No, but the voice acting's not bad in English, but no, you gotta play it in Japanese though. You know.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so
gotta play it in the native tongue.
That's what she said.
Ooh, that's how you ended up going. See, that's how you got 4.
What happened? That's how I got drag. So I got dragon rot.
Yeah, man.
What did Charlie Sheen say? He drinks tiger's blood. He's got tiger's blood. Oh, come on, Caps.
Charlie Sheen was super high when he had that interview.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was
high. I got tiger's blood.
There.
Yeah, got tiger's blood. So anyhow, let's talk some video games, guys.
Yeah. Welcome to the podcast, guys. Officially starting now.
Yeah. The way you guys speak, wait, DJ Six is the way you guys speaking, you sound like 90-year-old raggedy ass Japanese men.
How did you know?
Oh my god.
Well, we never professed to be the premier podcast of Japanese dialect and accents.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know if you guys. Hey, Slomo, are you a Caps fan, Slomo, or no?
I'm not really a hockey fan, but
okay.
I do somewhat root for the Caps. Just because I used to intern for the Wizards once upon a time, and I just was around the organization enough to somewhat care.
Yeah. I mean, they won the Stanley Cup, man. Yeah.
I mean, I was happy about them winning, although I had zero faith it was going to happen. I thought they were going to do another, get into the playoffs and disappoint everyone once again.
You thought Ovechkin was going to choke again, huh?
Oh yeah. I had seen that movie like 3 or 4 times
that movie
already.
was real.
That movie's moved to Tampa Bay, by the way. We're not going to get into too much, but he knocked out a 19-year-old player today. Like they got into a fight and Obi knocked his ass, locked him out. The guy fell on the ice, knocked out.
Good.
Yeah. So anyhow,
welcome to the pros.
Yeah, welcome to the shot play, baby. Have you seen Long Dong Silver? That's a joke. That's a joke, by the way. I don't know if anyone caught that.
Yeah, we did.
Eric's white now. Looking at the screen, he's shaking his head.
Eric's like, what did I sign up for today on a Monday afternoon?
Yeah.
I work in a school. I hear worse.
Do you really?
Yeah,
man.
really?
Some of the things these kids talk about, I'm like, yo, man.
You passing them in the hallway. They just be having casual conversation about it, huh?
Yeah. Did you see my tweet the other day about the hot Cheetos?
I did.
That's all these kids eat, by the way. That's all they eat.
That's all my kids eat. She's like, hey, some hot fries. Cheetos. Hot fries.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Some of these kids, man, I mean, yeah. Like if we were like truly the animal kingdom where we had to like eat each other to live, shit, it'd be a wrap for some of these kids, man.
Truly the animal kingdom.
All right, let's get to some video game talk for real. We're going off the deep end here. This is truly Monday Night Raw for Brap.
We're just vamping. We're just whatever comes to the door.
All right. All right, guys. So Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order saw the preview this weekend. What'd you guys think?
I think Respawn should have made the trailer for Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. That's what I thought.
Yes.
But I really liked it. I think it was it really has the feel of the original storytelling. It seems like it's gonna really mimic what Star Wars was all the way back to even just the regular movies and things. I hate that they show CG and that's all they show with no gameplay. But overall, I'm super excited for that game whenever it drops out. I mean, it's going to be the first Star Wars game I'm actually really interested in. Ever since like what's the name of the ones that was like the Elite series? That was like one of my favorites right now.
Yes.
Or even like Force Unleashed games and stuff like that.
Yeah, Force Unleashed. Yeah.
Like I'm just happy to see that it's actually real.
Yeah.
And didn't get canceled and Vince announced the name.
You never know, it still could happen. It is EA.
Vince, we're gonna talk about Vince. Look, Vince has said he's on the board of executives.
Amy Hennig dropped that T to the Eurogamer, and she said that Vince.
I don't know what he got.
Lomo, can you actually? Someone, do you have that up?
I actually have I have a screen cap I made of the actual quote from her. So Eurogamer asked her how she felt about the fact that her single player, no microtransaction Star Wars game got canceled, but Respawn's is not only on the way to being released, but they're marketing it. They're using the marketing of, hey, we're not doing our usual bullshit, as marketing the game, and she said it's odd. Henning told Eurogamer, I have to be candid with you. I mean, it's coming from the EA Star Wars Twitter handle, so it's certainly part of the plan, but I don't know whether it's implicitly referencing previous comments they made after our project was killed. There is so much change in this industry all the time. Over the course of my time at EA, we were back and forth on what the overall publishing corporation wanted. Everybody's trying to figure out what the right path is. I also think Respawn's game has the benefit of being largely developed before they were acquired. I think that's a big, just me speaking here, I think that is a huge reason why their games have not been using Frostbite up until now. Now that they are acquired by Respawn, I guess we'll see if Vince can keep their next project from being under Frostbite. But back to what she was saying, it is a protected entity, and Vince Zampella makes very sure, because he's part of the executive team at EA.
He's got a seat at the table, man.
He can protect the interests of Respawn. So this is why he has been able to dodge these bullets that BioWare has not been able to dodge. He's at the table, and he's been able to convince them, I don't think we should do Frostbite for this game. And it may also he may also have been using the fact that they at the time when they started development for these two games, they were not owned by EA. They had a very similar deal with EA that like Bungie had with Activision. Now that they are owned by EA, he may not be able to keep them from, say, like their next project not using Frostbite. I mean, we'll see, but that does explain a lot. He's got a seat at the table, and I am like reading that. I am somewhat disappointed that Vince wasn't able to at least make the point that we shouldn't be forcing these devs to use Frostbite to their own detriment and to the overall game's detriment, just to save a couple of pennies. Especially when he made sure his team didn't have to deal with that. It's kind of like, I'm gonna handle mine, but the rest of y'all, good luck. It's just like it's not cool, man. But it is what it is. I mean, the game looks good to me. I mean, based off of what I saw in the trailer, the premise, what they were talking about, I agree with E. It sounds like Star Wars Unleashed, which I enjoyed. I ain't played the second game. I have a second game. I haven't played it, but the first game I did play and enjoy. I mean, I guess we'll see some gameplay at like E3. And that would be, everyone's going to be looking forward to that. But I think it's going to do well because Respawn's a quality dev. Vince makes sure his games are good, and he makes sure that their directors aren't pulling a BioWare. You're sitting around for 4.5 years doing nothing. So we'll see. But I'm a lot more hopeful for this one than other EA projects because it seemed like Vince has made sure to keep EA out of it.
Yeah, and it's interesting because they've gotten a lot of shit over the release of Anthem and the whole debacle with microtransactions, the last Star Wars game, and the cancellation of Amy Hennig's project. It's kind of funny to see them, immediately tweeting out that this game is not going to have any microtransactions. It's like, yeah, you guys know you fucked up. You know that the gaming community doesn't think too well or highly of EA at the moment, and they want to drive home that point that this is a single player game. It's a Star Wars game that's not going to have these crazy microtransactions like the other Star Wars game did. And I'm glad that they're kind of kept their hands off of it. And like Vinny's got a seat at the table. He's gonna have a lot to say in this. And the one thing that I'll say is I know we didn't see any gameplay footage, but I do like that we got a little bit of like a little insight into the character, the main protagonist, and kind of like you see the struggle he's going through. Obviously, this is right after execute Order 66. Yeah.
From my point of view, 66.
Oh boy! Don't do don't go. You'll try.
Everybody mad at The Last Jedi. I'm like, even Lucas couldn't get it right. Y'all stop it.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, no, I didn't. Like I told you guys the other day, I didn't think we'd see gameplay yet. I figured they just wanted to set it up, let people know, hey, this game is actually real. This is like kind of the vision that we're going for, and I think they'll like definitely lay out that whole gameplay thing at E3.
Yeah, I hope so. Don't call me
saying in the chat. Microsoft has the marketing, so you probably definitely see it like on their stage.
Don't call me Dennis says that shouldn't be a selling point. I guess in reference to it doesn't have microtransactions. It's a good point though. Like that shouldn't be the selling point of the game.
Yeah, but their reputation is so bad that it's become a selling point. There's no microtransactions.
Yeah,
that's like
we're not using Frostbite.
It's like a
kind of is a selling point nowadays. Because I mean, that's a heated debate constantly, that we see like back and forth. So you kind of need.
I don't have Dragon Rot. You can kiss me.
Yeah. I don't have HPV.
Oh my god, terrible, man. Eric's been on this HPV roll all week.
I see,
or not all week, just tonight.
It's real, man. You don't see the commercials for it?
Yeah, but I don't know why we keep bringing it up.
I don't know, because the way Sekiro makes you feel about Dragon Rot, you feel like I don't want to give anybody Dragon Rot. It's like, but I have to revive myself. I got to beat this boss.
Yeah,
sorry, y'all all gonna get it.
You all gonna get
it. Eddie Vestora, and I've heard this too, said that he's heard it's going to be a Souls-like game. Have you guys heard this too? Because I've heard some of that.
I can't stand these Souls comparisons, man. Any game that has melee combat and you move side to side is all of a sudden a Souls game. I mean, I don't know about this.
They said Souls like combat, and I think some people are kind of taking that as it's going to be like Dark Souls, like difficulty and stuff like that. They said so. I just took it as like the way like Souls kind of plays, like as far as like dodging and parrying and stuff like that.
Well, that would make sense, like with lightsaber battles and stuff, right?
Yeah, they said there's going to be a big focus on like lightsaber battling and dueling.
You'll try.
So.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Y'all picked the worst lines that he said in Star Wars.
I mean, that was seriously for the guy who's going to be Darth Vader. That is the worst line ever.
Yeah, but I try to look at it fair because even George Lucas came out and I mean, it depends on how much you believe in George Lucas when he says his vision for the character. He said he wanted that dude to be the most overconfident, arrogant son of a bitch in the movie. And that's what they said he did a really good job being an a-hole in that movie and making absolute no sense. But
I thought he was terrible as Anakin Skywalker.
You said what?
I didn't like him as Anakin Skywalker.
I actually loved him.
I thought he whined too much. He cried. He just didn't.
That was the whole purpose of his buildup. I mean, you got to think Vader was the most conflicted Jedi, or before he became Vader, most conflicted character in Star Wars. That's the whole build of the character, and what they portrayed, especially in Episode 2. I think a lot of people just was like not into the whole love thing between him and Padme. It was
really weird.
It was weird as hell.
Time on that nonsense, man. They
did. That's what they did. It's almost like way too much time on that.
It's almost like George Lucas got to the point where it's like, oh snap, I do need to tie this up and make sure people know that he becomes Vader, and let's do this in the last 5 minutes.
Right.
And then like the dialogue is so bad. Like oh my gosh, like some of the dialogue and just the conversations between him and Padme is just like, what is happening here? Who wrote
some people
this?
thought it was bad acting, but can we say Natalie Portman is actually a bad actor though?
No, I don't think she's a bad actor.
Because everybody thought she was terrible after that movie. I'm just telling you, it was the way the script was wrote.
Yeah, it's a bad script and bad directing. Like a bad director can make good actors look bad.
Exactly.
What's your favorite out of the Star Wars like movies? Which one is your favorite?
Oh, Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back is the best one. Yeah,
right.
By far.
It's directed.
Yeah, and all the ones. Yeah, I know where you're going. All the ones not directed.
What you say? It wasn't directed by what?
It's not directed by Lucas.
Yeah,
it wasn't. Yeah,
and it's mostly usually, if you ask a Star Wars fan which is their favorite, they'll say Empire.
Empire, yeah.
The whole tone of Empire is completely different than what.
Touch your feelings. You know it's true. I'm your father. No.
I killed them, and not just the men. Yeah. But the women and children too.
The women, children, the younglings. The younglings, Padme.
She was alive. I felt her.
Yeah, right.
It's
terrible.
Your anger, young Skywalker, you get killed out.
It's bad stuff all around. Like Yoda throws Palpatine over IKEA furniture in his office. Like, stop. You can't be the Force and get thrown over an office over a desk. And why on top of that, he's sitting at a desk with two guys like next to him. Come on, man.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
It's just.
I'll say that the lightsaber battle between.
Well, I think 3 is by far my most enjoyable viewing experience I had in the Star Wars because of just the lightsaber battles and stuff. And it was just
the lightsaber battle between
except for
lightsaber battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin is probably the best ever.
By far the best of any Star Wars movie.
Ever in the Star Wars.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is, you had Mace Windu and what was it? The 2 other Jedi dude who survived all types of Clone War stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And basically got taken out in a which way did he go routine with the Emperor.
Yeah.
Dude jumped over the desk spinning. And they were like, which way did he go? Stabbed in the head, in the chest. Where he's over there, stabbed in the stomach. He took, it's just like, just lame stuff, man.
Yeah, it's pretty lame.
Yeah, and way too much like, okay, think about how the original trilogy started, right?
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my
exactly. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Excitement. How did the prequels start? With like trade conflicts and treaty nonsense. Just like what is this is boring. Like, who thought all this political intrigue stuff needed to be in Star Wars? Who cares about any of that stuff?
And the Gungans were terrible.
From
oh god, you're going. Misa's a Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar Binks was the worst character ever.
Misa Jar Jar Binks. Misa, your humble servant.
Yeah,
I'm about to sell a bunch of things. Every kid's gonna want a Jar Jar doll.
No.
Yeah. Don't call me Danny. That is correct. Darth Maul versus Qui-Gon was a lit fight in the first.
That was lit. Darth Maul and versus Qui-Gon was lit.
Yeah. Obi-Wan tried to jump in. He kept getting dropped in the chin.
I still say to this day, one of the biggest mistakes Lucas made was revealing that double-bladed lightsaber in the trailer.
Yeah, I agree.
Because how dope would that have been? Like, yo, he's about to take on two. How's he gonna do that? And he whips that out. Every nerd in the theater would have had a heart attack.
Yeah.
But I mean, Lucas has made a lot of mistakes with that series, which is why, look, I mean, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. I understand a lot of the criticisms with the current trilogy that people have, but at the same time, I'm like, yo, I mean, like a lot of these Star Wars fans are looking back at the previous trilogies with some of that nostalgia goggles on, and it's like yo, like. The episode 4 is not that great. Come on, I mean, it's not that great. Like,
oh man, some bad lightsaber fighting.
I mean, it's just like they have so much nostalgia about the old, like they gloss over some really bad lines and some bad cinematography.
Yeah, but that was back in the 70s, man.
You see,
that was 77. I mean, you got to think about it.
Hey, there's some great cinematography going on in the 70s too. So
yeah, I mean, what was better in the 70s than Star Wars?
Alien 79, baby.
Oh yeah,
2 years. Okay, that was 3 years after like Star Wars.
It was in the 70s, bro, and that still holds up today.
Come on, man.
Clash of the Titans.
Oh, I don't talk about that.
Hey, but no, I would say Rogue One in 5 minutes gave us Vader back.
Oh yeah. That gave us that Vader was.
Yeah, Rogue One's really good. Like,
I
don't agree with the people that's like
a lot of Star Wars movies.
It's too slow. It only gets good in the end. I'm like, nah,
that Vader was badass.
If you can sit through the prequels Congress debates, then you can sit through the beginning of Rogue One. Come on.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't call me Danny. Say you got to see Amber Rue and Uncle Owen all charred up in A New Hope.
Oh my god.
So what was so
in episode 2, man, he just basically is like the whole, like, he just destroyed Boba Fett for everybody, the whole cloning factory and all that stuff, and it was just like, I don't know, man.
The funny thing I've been noticing on Twitter and stuff is a lot of conversations, people saying, hey man, the prequels weren't so bad compared to what we get now.
No,
this is better than the prequels.
The downtrend started even then. And here's the thing, like, everybody was like pissed about The Force Awakens. Oh, it was just A New Hope, like redone, like a remix. And then Rian Johnson basically deconstructed everything and said, fine, I'm not going to make another version of that. I'm just going to like show you that it doesn't always have to be about the Skywalkers, and we can move it forward. And people got pissed at that.
And then people got upset.
Can you at least end the Skywalker saga before you decide to move on from it?
He did.
Well, you're right. He did do that. He absolutely did end it.
My friend always refers to it. He said that was one long, I'm trolling all the Star Wars fans movie.
Yeah.
Well, him and Kathleen Kennedy was on stage, said, well, we really don't care about the fandom. And I was like, huh? How you gonna come out and say that you don't care about the fandom? We care about, we're making what we want to make. Star Wars is about the fandom. It's not about you.
Not according to them.
What do you mess up with that? Because there's another director that did the same thing, and that was Zack Snyder with BVS.
Yeah, exactly.
The character's not edgy enough for me. I need to do this and this and that, and there you go. If you don't,
Yeah, I agree with that.
You gotta understand the source material. You gotta understand what you're working with.
Yeah, that was the main thing with Zack Snyder. He did not understand Batman. He didn't understand Superman at all. And I mean, Zack Snyder was the worst thing that happened to the DCEU anyway. So I'm glad he's no longer involved in that. Honestly,
to an extent, he understood Batman, because the dopest part of that was when Batman goes in and clears everybody out. In the end of the movie, that was Batman stuff. He didn't understand how to play the whole Superman Batman thing. It didn't need to be a versus movie, first of all.
No, not at all.
I mean, Superman's whole reason for hating Batman was dumb. I understood Batman's reason for being skeptical of Superman. But Superman's like, oh, there's a guy over there being a Batman. He's been doing it for years and nobody's checking him. I think I need to step in there.
Do you bleed?
That doesn't make any sense. That's not even a Superman motivation. Superman would not have even approached Spider-Man. I mean, I keep thinking Spider-Man for some reason. He would not even approach Batman in that way. That's not. If you read any Superman comic, you would just see Superman is the thing is that like in the interest of trying to keep Superman interesting, they had to kind of give him a lot of like moral dilemmas. You know, like that's the way of nerfing Superman is to make him feel like, you know, like he really could go straight crazy and take over the whole world. He's really that powerful. But that's not the kind of person he is. That's not his character. And also, even when he fights, you know, people who are clearly less powerful than him, he doesn't go all out because he doesn't feel that he needs to. He's that level of a hero, and that level of a hero would not have that kind of thoughts and motivations about Batman. Period. It's just
Superman said something to Darkseid in the Justice League cartoon when he finally truly unleashed like his full potential, and Darkseid thought he was like the dude, and Superman's basically ragdolling him. And he was like, I hold back because I live in a world that's basically made of cardboard for me. You know, so it's like what you're saying, Slomo, is like if he truly wanted to go busy, get busy.
Oh, he would destroy the world.
Yeah. You know,
no one can stop him.
And then the whole Jesse Eisenberg thing, I'm like, that was just like, stop it, y'all.
Oh God,
that was a bad choice.
Terrible
for Lex Luthor. Just bad
choice.
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
We didn't, bro. Get off topic.
Well, because we started talking about Star Wars, but I'll say this. I mean, just my final thoughts on the trailer for the new Star Wars game. I am interested in the character because I like the dilemma, his conflict. You know, he's trying to you know, hide the fact that he has force powers, that he's force sensitive. So I thought that was kind of interesting that you kind of see that he's trying to, you know, fit in and not draw any attention to himself. So that's gonna be interesting. How that kind of plays out, but I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
Monahan, man. He's a good actor. You know, so I think that's a good choice for you know, for a lead. But I like to see more. I like to see how it all comes together. You know,
what I like is the fact that they have so much confidence in the game that they're going to put it out right smack dab in the middle of one of probably the busiest seasons. We don't know what else is coming at the end of this year, but the fact that it's coming out November 13th, it's pretty freaking crazy.
Yeah, that is true.
I have a thought about this game. So, with the fact that this character is like a brand new character to us, yet he is being introduced pretty much before A New Hope, before the very first movie was coming out, and so therefore his impact seems to be completely minimal to seems to be completely minimal to the entire Star Wars universe. Do you guys think that this is going to be a one and done game where kind of like how like the character I can't remember that girl's name. She's really hot.
Isoversal.
I can't remember her. No, I don't know if that's her name. The one from the Battlefront 2.
Yeah, Isoversal.
Yeah. So where like you see her entire life timeline, you know, in that campaign. Do you think we'll get that from Fallen Order with this Jedi, right? Or is it because, you know, now that this game is actually coming out a month before Episode 9, are we going to get some hints from this game potentially of, you know, maybe some seeds that are set in this game that may, you know, bear some fruit in Episode 9, and that maybe, you know, may show what's going to happen next with the Star Wars series?
So I'll go with that. The biggest thing, I think this all stems back to Disney's decision, I believe, when they first took over the IP, and they said that canon, everything that was canon, like when it comes to the extended universe, not being canon anymore. I think I was very much against that. But now that I'm starting to see where Disney's going with it, they have the Mandalorian series coming out. They have Rebels, the new season of that coming out. We have this game coming out. We have Battlefront 2, which story is canon now in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
I think what their idea is you do I think we're gonna get anything substantive added to this in the movies? Probably not. It would be nice to get something tie in from somewhere when it comes to the video games, but I think this is just them building out that extended universe the way they want to build it out. I think a lot of the stuff that wasn't canon will soon become canon because they want to be able to market that in a way that, hey, we bring this to you, where, you know, Lucas, when they were in command, it was just the novels and the books and stuff. So a lot of this stuff is going to end up being in some type of source material, if it's a video game, in a movie. I think like stuff from like Knights of the Old Republic, you might see something rehashed about that in the near future and stuff.
That's a quote. Well, also, I guess DJ's saying his answer to my question. He said Respawn already said there was no connection with the ongoing movie. So, okay, that's been answered. But to your thought about potentially the Kotar storyline potentially being reintroduced back in, what about the TV show The Mandalorian? What is the timeline? Where in the timeline is that? Because
it's 6 years after Return of the Jedi.
Okay, never mind then. Because the Knights of the Old Republic takes place after the Republic is recovering from a two huge wars that took over the whole galaxy. One was the Mandalorian Wars, when the Mandalorians tried to take over the entire galaxy. And then the second war that came out of that was a war between the Republic and the Sith, when the reason why the Republic won is that, which is a little weird because further context, the Jedi Council back then was even worse than the Jedi Council that we see now. Like, they were even a worse version of the Jedi Council in the original trilogy. I mean, not in the prequels, they were even worse than them, where they didn't even want to get involved in the war, period. And then Revan, who everyone knows who Revan is, rebelled against the Jedis. Him and Malik took a whole section of Jedis, took control of the Republic's army and beat the Mandalorians. And then they, in turn, became Sith and then tried to take over the galaxy themselves. So it's like, I wonder if all that stuff is going to get brought back up, because that was a great story that BioWare came up with, and it's like that's better writing than I've seen out of the majority of the Star Wars stuff. Yeah, shout out to Star Wars Rebels, another great TV show that went on for like 5 seasons. Excellent writing, some of the best writing we've seen in Star Wars, period. But this stuff just gets kind of thrown to the side for, you know, what we get in the movies, which isn't always the best. But no, that's a good point, man. Let's move on to
I take that back, Slow Mo. They said it takes place between episode 4 all the way through the original trilogy.
Okay.
But they said they came out and said but you don't expect any type of cameos from any characters or anything, because it's going to be its own self-contained story.
But I saw pictures. Maybe those pictures were fake or something. I don't know. I thought I saw pictures with the guy that the black dude. I can't remember his name right now, from the original trilogy.
You talking about Lando?
Lando, yeah, I thought I saw Lando in that.
I ain't see Lando.
He's in the new Star Wars, but I don't think
you talking about Glover.
No, not Donald Glover, not Glover from Solo. You know what? This is probably somebody, because I saw it in a tweet, but it wasn't a official tweet from Disney or Star Wars. So it may have been from episode 9, and people were just mixing stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to new Xbox One S. It's coming out. It's going to be announced tomorrow on Inside Xbox. It's the diskless version of the Xbox One S. It's rumored to be launching at $250. What do you guys think? Too expensive? Don't care? Meh.
It's not an X, so really don't care. All right, so this system, if this is true, everything Microsoft has been planning to do with just their goodwill towards customers this is like a shot in the foot to that. It's like right now you can go to the store and get a 1 terabyte Xbox One S with a disc drive and a 4K Blu-ray player for $250.
Yes, sir.
Right now you can do that.
Apparently less than that.
Apparently
you can get it for less than that at certain retailers.
Yeah.
And you're basically, and then there's another thing. You're basically telling me right now that you can get a discless Xbox One S with the same internals as a regular Xbox One S, and it literally only be 100. Because right now you can get the Fallout bundle for $350, the Xbox One X bundle. So it's only $100 difference right now to get that version of the system versus a discless system. No way, man. If they come out and announce that price, this thing is DOA before it even started.
Well, it's gonna also have Minecraft, CFDs, and for Forza Horizon 3 pre-installed.
Oh, Game Pass games? Forza Horizon 3 is not a Game Pass, I don't think.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is now? Oh, well, shoot. Well, that's just Game Pass. What you just gave me? What
they're all Game Pass games. It's pointless. $250 for a. You didn't even increase the memory.
Yeah, it's not even 2 terabyte.
You didn't.
It should be at least 2 terabytes.
Yeah, it should be at least 2 terabytes.
Or 1 terabyte SSD.
I think this is really there's no actual evidence of this, but this is my theory. I think this is a test. I think they're going to look at, from the launch of the SAD edition, they're going to look at, compare how many people are buying a discless version of the same console versus the Xbox One S. And they want to see, and I think this is going to be whether it's a test to see whether they're going to go discless with the Lockhart or not. And I think, if it sells well, or if it sells at the same clip as the One S, they're going to just go forward and not have a disc with the Lockhart.
How else is a test, man? It's not even a good price. Man,
that's not even a test, bro. Look. Let's
the price is terrible.
Let's break this down.
Wait. This is why I'm saying this is a test. Is because if you go to Xbox's website, they're selling the Xbox One S at $300. Forget the fact that other retailers are selling it for cheaper, or you can buy it used for cheaper. That's their official price for it, $299.
Yeah, the MSRP.
They are selling this for $50 less, which is literally like the cost in bulk that they're getting for the 4K player. It's probably the $50 that you're not having to pay for here. This is essentially they're basically the same price. They're basically the same price without the 4K player. And so that's why I feel like it's a test to see what is going to be sold more.
Being in retail, this app makes no absolute. There's no so a person who's going to buy this system. The thing is, yeah, like you said, on Microsoft's website, it says $399 for the S. But what person really goes to Microsoft's website to see let's go see Microsoft's website and see how much an Xbox One S costs.
All right, so how much is a One S at GameStop right now?
$250.
Like brand new, $250.
Brand new $250. Dude, if you want one used, you can get it for $179. It's $250.
Oh, you get a used one for $179?
Yeah, you get a used one right now for $179.
What?
So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So if a person walks in my store, first thing I'm gonna do, if they say, "Oh, I saw that you guys got an Xbox One S bundle for $250," and that's with the other one being $300. Let's say it's $300. Yeah. The first thing I'm gonna do is say, "Hey, yeah, we do have that system, but you do know that system is only downloadable games. You can't buy games out of the store for it. All you can do is buy Microsoft gift cards and buy the games right off the system itself."
But you know what, Forte, that actually goes more towards my point about they're the same price then.
Well, no, but see, that's the test, though.
But hold on, look. Someone goes into GameStop, right? They think about getting an Xbox One. They don't want to spend $400 or $500 on the X.
Not the S. I'm talking about just the S.
I'm saying that they can't afford an X, so they want to get an S.
Right.
They're looking at these two SKUs that are the same price. One is being introduced at $250. Your company is selling the other one at $250. Now it's basically down to you're still paying the same amount of money. It's down to what do you want more?
Is that a real test?
Games. You're getting 3 games with no drive. Here's a drive and no games in it.
No, you get a game with it. You get either Division, you get NBA, or you get PUBG.
Okay, so 1 game in the drive. 1 game and the 4K drive. You can play movies in 4K on it. Yeah, I see that as they want to look at over time, look at the data, what is selling more.
Wow.
They don't care.
That's not a test to me.
I don't think they care whether it sells well or not. It's at the end of the generation. They've already lost the PlayStation. This isn't about like making money and selling a bunch of copies. For what's the end of the gen? You've been talking about your new consoles for over a year. You're not making a comeback with this. It's gotta be a test. There's only the reason to introduce something like this into the market this late in the gen.
So if they don't care about how many of these they sell, why not just sell it for $199?
Because then then you're gonna get people who are just gonna buy it just because it's cheaper. Not you're gonna get people who are gonna buy it for a different reason than you want to see them buy it for. When you have it where your store is selling the 1S for the same price as the SAD edition, people are going to choose and buy whichever one that they actually care for. You know what? That one has a 4K player. I'm gonna get that one because I want a 4K player. But if you don't want a 4K player, you're not going to get that one. You're going to get the SAD edition because you're all digital and you don't care about having physical games.
Why would you? But see, this is the thing, and this is the thing I'm worried about in the situation. Why would I spend the same amount of money to get less of a product?
That is what this is where I'm saying that you are the kind of person that's not going to buy that. If you are in that position and you have that mindset, you're going to buy a 1S. And they're looking at who wants a actual disk drive, who wants more features in the product, and who won't care if there's not a disk drive in there for potentially a next gen system.
So who would actually, okay, so yeah, you're right about that, but who at retail would actually give this even a second thought when it comes to selling this to a guest that walks in the store? I mean, because ultimately, I'm gonna tell you what I would say. I would tell a person like, dude, you're getting more for your money by buying this, because most people listen to what you have to say. That's why they came into your store. If this was a situation where it was on a Microsoft website and it was only available there, then I can see what you were talking about, because it's a small sample size, but that sample size is geared to what Microsoft is their actual, what they want their people to say to the people. I can tell you right now, nobody in my store will offer a diskless system for the same price as you can get the same system with a disk drive in it, because then first of all, that's hurting retail. So you're basically saying, oh, retailers, you're stupid, we're going to allow you to go out there and just sell this Xbox SAD edition, knowing every customer that buys it ain't gonna buy games for your store because they can't do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's an obvious reason why you guys wouldn't do it, but I mean, but all I'm saying is, if you
that's a legit thing though.
If you make the price significantly less because there is no disk drive and there's less features, there are going to be people who are just going to buy it because it's cheaper, and they don't want that to be a reason. They don't want that to skew their numbers. Basically, they don't want that there are people buying this version just because it's the cheapest version of an Xbox to get. They want to see what people actually don't care about a disk drive.
But if they buy, see, that's the thing I'm talking, because me personally, for a person that buys both digital and physical, I will pick the physical drive over the digital drive every time until they just don't offer it, because that's just the type of gamer I am. But if you offer a significant discount, like $100 difference between them, the people that will... trust me, people that will buy a diskless system, you will still tell them like, hey, this system you can only download games on. That's why it's so much cheaper. That would still be the And those people will decide, but that's the thing. Those people will decide if they want to buy it or not. And you're still getting the same thing, but at least you know the people that bought into that system, bought into it knowing that your games are download only.
But see, yeah, and there's that, you know, your retailers know that as soon as I sell this to someone, they're never coming back in here again because they're not going to buy physical games with this. So there is that, right? So yeah, this is probably not going to be a big hit for stores like yours or Best Buy or wherever else, but it would be probably just fine for Amazon, Newegg, wherever else that's like online retailers. Eurijo and Ujiro in the chat said, you know, the price is not absolute truth. This is all rumors until Microsoft. Yeah,
it could be $199.
Until it comes out from Microsoft, this is all speculation.
Yeah,
we're speculating here.
The rumors are $250. That's why we're saying $250 because we're speculating based on what's being reported out there. I mean, for all we know, they could come out and be like $199. You know, we can.
Yeah, the thing is, Slow-Mo's absolutely right. I mean, I understand the whole testing of it, and that is something they should do. I just feel like if you're going to do something like this, it should be more of a. I mean. Right now, you're just passing the buck over to the customer at that point. It's like, I just don't get why not just go all in and just drop it to $199, which they might do tomorrow. We might see that. The one thing we noticed about MSRP prices, the price might drop to $199 tomorrow, and that might be the price it stays at. Or they may announce it and say, hey, for a limited time only, you can get the Xbox Sat Edition, which they won't call it the Sat Edition, but you can get it for $199 for a limited time. And that might draw a lot of people into the stores to actually pick it up.
No, I think the better choice, and I like I said, I do believe they're just trying to test the market and see how they should approach next year. But I think a better test of this would have been to actually do a diskless Xbox One X, because that's the one that people seem to actually want more of, the one that could actually do more with the games that are coming out right now and doesn't struggle to play, you know, even just average games that aren't even really pushing the envelope like the One S does. Like if they would have did a 2 terabyte diskless Xbox One S for the same price as the current Xbox One S, now you got a true test. Because both consoles are pushing the best visuals that you're going to get in the console space. That's still a good draw, and you got 2 terabytes for the version that doesn't have a disc, even better. And now it's on even ground, and they're the same, making them the same price, and it makes sense. Then you can see like, okay, who's buying the diskless version? Who's saying, nah, I want my 4K player because my Xbox is gonna be, I'm gonna do more than play games with it. I'm gonna watch 4K movies with it. Then you can kind of tell what's going to happen, because you're not going to lose sales on One X's. You already had a product in the market, and people are going to buy that regardless. If they wanted to make the decision to buy it, they're going to buy it. But are they going to buy that, or are they going to buy this different SKU that you came up with? Doing this with the One S was a mistake from the very start, because it's the old hardware that no one cares about anyway, and it's going to be gone and not being sold anymore in another year or two. So there will be people who are just not going to buy it because it's old as hell anyway.
Right. Yeah, I think I do want to answer Danny's question. He says, do you think big retailers will even carry it? I think big retailers will carry it. And the reason they will carry it is because it's like this unspoken thing between retailer and publisher, or retailer and developer or manufacturer. Think about it. GameStop carries Game Pass in their store. We carry the cards for Game Pass, and that doesn't stop us from selling it. Just like, and then if we think about it, if Microsoft says we want to bring out a diskless Xbox, and GameStop says we don't want to support that, then Microsoft has every right to pull all their systems out of there. So it's like kind of a love-hate relationship when it comes to those two. So I really think they will carry it just because they want to keep relations as good as possible. And when it comes to what Glorious War said, talking about, do we think there will be any more revisions to the current consoles? I think this is the last revision you're going to see. A diskless version of this version of the Xbox is the last revision you're going to see, because everything is all set up for whatever's coming in the next generation in the next year.
Hey, Forte, do you think this is kind of like a situation where they're just kind of getting people used to the idea of diskless, consoles?
Yo, yeah, it's definitely a power move. They're
Yeah,
basically saying,
let's get the people thinking about use
it's
the
a power
idea
move.
that it's out in the market already. It's not going to be so that when next gen, I think I don't know if it was Slomo that said it earlier, but I think this is either you or Slomo or Forte said this, that it's like them kind of decide whether or not I forget, one of the new Xboxes is going to be diskless, and then maybe that's kind of them. Maybe it's
I can see that happening.
Yeah, like maybe it's them easing, that the consumer mindset of, getting them used to the idea of not having, a disk in their hard drive, and this idea content. Because if they do it now, then they can say, hey, look, this isn't new. This is something we did last gen, and people will buy it. People get used to the idea, the notion of a diskless a console. So, Eric,
I'm sorry. No, yeah, Eric hasn't said anything in a while.
Yeah, we'll go to Eric on this. Eric, man, what are your thoughts on this, man?
No, I'm pretty much in line with you guys. That's why I really haven't had anything to jump in on. I definitely think Slomo's right. It's like a testing, like, just to see like if people are going to clamor towards a diskless. And you already know they would, if you dropped it to a ridiculous low price, they're going to do it. That's not really giving you any feedback.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you throw it out,
not because it's diskless. Yeah.
Right. But I definitely think the better test would have been sort of like what Forte's saying, a diskless X would have been, in my opinion, like the better test. I
agree with that.
Because I think the person that, you're trying to gear this toward, or not really gear this toward, but the person in the market for an S is the person who's probably more than likely going to buy more physical. And want that drive than they would like something that's all digital.
Yeah.
Dude, the people that's going to buy a diskless system are the hardcore people that don't mind having don't care about it. Like somebody like Randall Thor gets all his games digital anyway. Trust me, he doesn't care. I mean, he wouldn't care if there's no disk drive in it.
Exactly. Right. He's got like a 5 terabyte external connected to it. That's why doing this with the X would have been a much better idea, because the demographic that gravitates towards an X is really going to actually look at the features and say, do I care about a disk or not? Am I actually ever going to use the disk drive here? Or do I still just want that option just in case I decide to get a physical game now and then? That's the kind of guy that's going to sit there and make those decisions. People at this late in the game, when there's a more powerful SKU already in play and they're thinking about getting a 1S, they're doing that for price. Or it's like their third one. Like the one guy I know, one of my best friends, who actually is thinking about getting the SAD edition, is only getting it because he already has an X and he's tired of his kids watching Netflix when he wants to play a game on his X. So he's thinking about getting this diskless version so he can put it in their room and he can have his Xbox to himself.
Right.
That's not what you're really looking for, like you're not, that's not like the primary driver of why someone's going to want that system. Because next gen, when you're thinking about, hey, a bunch of people bought it for that reason, you're going to see that a diskless Lockhart is not going to sell well, and you're like, well, what happened? Our test went well and we had so many people buying it, but they didn't buy it as a primary system. Right. It's just a bad decision all the way around to me.
And even in your boy's case, Slomo, like he ain't gonna be looking for that 250 diskless. He's gonna jump on and try to find that, that 199S.
Exactly, because that's when I told him what the price was, he was like, "Oh, nah, bump that."
Yeah, so
he's not gonna drop it 250 for this.
Right. So what you'll get is like a hardcore collector who just has to have every box that comes out, that say, "Hey, I got it. It's for my collection," right? Yeah. And then, because let's be honest, I mean, most of the hardcore who moved over to an X, the S was dead to them. That same E3 when they announced the S and immediately announced the X, the S was already dead to them.
Yeah, they weren't getting it then.
They got it
like
just
a year later. A better version coming.
Yeah, we were just looking for a better reason to trade our system in to get it for cheaper.
That's it. But it was already dead. And I mean, you see already, you have Xbox shaming, like people who have an X. If you're not up there with them, they shame you. In some cases, you know what I'm saying? So they're not looking for a diskless like Xbox One S. And the average consumer is not looking for a diskless Xbox One S. And I know you were saying like, it's like a test thing because they pretty much lost the market. But if you're just trying to, is if you just want to make dough, and you bring one in at like a super low price.
Yeah, and you almost kind of have like for like my friend's like mentality of getting one. It's kind of pointless for him too, because it just really hit me. He could buy like the best Roku on the market. That's way cheaper than that, like $120 Roku.
Yeah,
you're all set. for and it does all the same things that the for streaming for his kids, streaming services that he was looking for with the sad edition. What's up, B? B money in the house.
B money in the house.
B, can you hear us? Uh-oh. B, are you there?
I guess the one thing I'm waiting for is whatever those Black Friday sales are going to be.
Yeah.
Because if a S was going for $199, a 1 terabyte S was going for $199 back then, where should a discless Xbox go for?
Yeah. Hey, Forte, I'd be interested in that. Oh, there he is. What's up, B?
What up?
What
up,
up,
they put
B?
it at 99. That thing flying off the shelf.
What's going on, man?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. For $99, I'll buy my daughter one today.
Hey, real quick, hold on, guys. I want to get B's take a B. Perfect timing, by the way, man. We're talking about the rumored, diskless Xbox One S that's supposed to be announced tomorrow. Rumored $250 price. What do you think, man?
$250 is too high, but I don't think. I mean, if they announce $250, that's an automatic L.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's got to hover around $199 or $149.
Yep, wow. I agree with that.
I think a lot of people think it's just like this test thing where they want to see what's going to happen with it and see if people are going to buy it. But I think the reason they're doing that is because that's going to be a base console going forward. I mean, we know what xCloud is based off of. It's based off the S. I think the S is going to stick around for a lot longer than people think it will. And I think if it releases at $199, it'll be $99 within a year, and that'll be the entry point for a lot of people.
All right, so yeah, I mean, so like that's what I was saying. I think it's a test, and I think that the reason why it's not like that them coming at a price of $250 instead of like $150, they kind of want to see like for say like the law card. Is this something that like people will want, and like they need to have the price at least close to the 1S in order to get a proper test of that? Because otherwise, if it's at like $150, people are just going to buy it because it's cheaper. But to your point, in the long term, I can see the actual Xbox One S not being sold or manufactured any further after this year, and them just going with this sad edition going forward. So like. For like, and that will continue to get cheaper as the new consoles come out, and so like they'll still have like this. Here's this last gen hardware, but hey, it's like not $99 to $150, way cheaper than what everything else that's out. And if you are that kind of gamer that you just don't really care about having the very very best. You'll jump on that and just buy just because it's there and put it in a different room in your house or whatever.
So we're gonna have five SKUs. Go ahead.
You got to look at what Microsoft is trying to do at the end of the day. They're trying to get their games in as many people's hands as possible. And I think when you release something like this late in the gen, because like who comes out with hardware this late in the gen, regardless if it's just a revision of an older console, like nobody does this. There's a reason behind it. So if you get it at that lower price point and Game Pass is there, that's $9.99 a month. There's been rumors of them integrating that with Xbox Live, so that makes sense there. You bundle that with whatever xCloud seems to be, I'm sure we'll hear about that at E3. You kind of roll that all into the holiday season. You get more people on your platform. And going forward, a lot of people may not be looking for the biggest and the best. A lot of people just want a game. I've talked to so many people recently, and there's a lot of people still playing on Wii U, still playing Wii's. Like just because that's the cheapest way for them to get into gaming. And it's not the super, big hobby for them. So, the less cost that it takes to get into the hobby, the easier it is for people. So, I think there's a reason why Microsoft is releasing a revision this late into the gen, and it's not really to test to see if they can, release new hardware diskless. Because I think if you go that route, especially jumping out of the gate, people are going to be pissed off because they don't have the option to get the latest game. You know what I mean? Physical. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? You have hardcore people who don't really care about that. You know what I mean? They buy the games digital anyway. But you'll still see some backlash from people like saying like, hey, I want to go to my local Best Buy. I want to go to GameStop, or I want to go to Target. You know what I mean? When they got the buy two, get one deal, you know what I mean? As a consumer, I want to save money at the end of the day. And buying digital isn't always the answer for that.
Yeah, and I think a big point of this is it's still going to sell more at retail than it does anywhere else because of like Amazon will still sell there a lot. It will still sell places like that. But places like Best Buy, Walmart, Target, GameStop, they'll still have the bigger market share when it comes to those selling those systems. And those people that walk in those stores and buy those systems are the people that want to buy physical product. You don't walk into put it this way, you don't walk into a GameStop and buy a system to not come back and buy games for it. The only reason so many people in this community went to GameStop to get their X's because they had that really good trade-in promotion to get it. But if you ask any of those people that went to GameStop to buy their X's, they would not have done it if it wasn't for that trade promotion. People that go to a physical retail store will buy physical product if they have to if they buy it from that store. If not, why not just buy it off of Amazon? Because you really don't support the retail store like that in the first place. So that's why I think this being available in so many places that they're saying is going to be available, they needed to significantly drop that price to make that a even talking point in like retail circles and stores.
Yeah, because at that point, like if you release at $250, then what's the real point? Like, what's the gauge? Like, what are you going after? Because at the end of the day, you could buy a console with a disk drive and still be all digital. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to use a disk drive. You don't have to use the added features because there is a disk drive. You know what I mean? You still have that same option to buy your games digital. So releasing at the same price point makes absolutely no sense.
And people saying that Sea of Thieves.
That's a good point, B-Money, by the way. If you're gonna like, there's no incentive. Like if you're gonna get digital, you're gonna get digital regardless. Like if you're, So anyway, I'm sorry.
They could have did better with the games they were giving you with it too. They gave you 3 Game Pass games. I mean, games that they threw into a service for $10 a month that you can get access to. Yeah, they'll give you the full game, but come on now, they could have did way better than
that. And almost guarantee those the edition is going to be sold with a free card for Game Pass.
For 1 month of Game Pass,
built in. So the games that you got are also going to be on that free monthly, free first month of Game Pass anyway. So it's like pointless. Like those games were the worst choices they could have made, honestly. But
interesting. Well, I mean, we're probably gonna find out tomorrow. Inside Xbox is tomorrow.
It's true. Yeah,
the first one I'll watch in a while.
And I think they already said it's only gonna be an hour long.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's still too.
That's a long. That's an hour. That's 30 minutes too long.
It needs to be 45 minutes max.
I already know it's not gonna have enough content for an hour.
There's gonna be Sea of Thieves. We're gonna be talking a lot about Sea of Thieves because the Sea of Thieves anniversary's up, and they're talking about the new content they've added. The single player campaign or whatever it is, a 20-hour campaign that's going to be available to Sea of Thieves owners. Finally, there's content there.
Okay, so that's like 10-15 minutes.
So let's take an over and under. How much of the time is going to be taken up by developers sitting on the stage?
About 20. I'm going to say 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm in that same line. 15-20 minutes.
I'm ready for Larry Herb's unboxing of the Xbox One.
That's going to take 10 minutes.
The new Xbox One S with the white gloves.
He's going to go real slow as he put those white gloves on and open up that system. And they'll probably announce a new controller.
They just announced one, man. We just got the crystal joint last.
We just got Sport Red and the Crystal Boy.
Yeah,
like what was it?
Man, we don't need no
white shadow.
No,
man,
we're gonna get.
We don't need another controller, man. They better not announce not one more controller.
Man, Microsoft make more money off their controllers than they do games.
Wow,
we got them back to back, man. let's chill. Let's chill for a minute.
Hey, you're gonna give us a lot of hate.
Nah, man, people get mad when you say that. It's two different.
I don't care what division it's in.
2 different divisions, man.
I don't give a damn.
2 different divisions, but one
I don't
directed.
need to see another controller, bro. And I love controllers.
And I like both of those controllers that they announced. Like I'm a fan of red controllers, and I like the crystal joint. The crystal joint is fire.
The crystal one was hot, yeah.
I mean, look, like it's not like the controllers are bad looking. No, they're all fire. Every time they come out with a new controller, I'm like, hey, that's a nice looking controller. Yeah. Too bad I can't say that's a nice looking new game.
Oh, I mean, slow that pisses people off when you say that.
Hey, look, you know what? I'm not saying it to troll people. I'm saying it because I'm pissed off about it. That's why I'm saying it.
Slow-mo. Can you say
that? Because I'm trying to keep it real. Look, where are the freaking games at? Don't come out with another controller until after E3 and you showed us some new content. Show us something to look forward to.
They're coming, the games are coming.
Yeah, when I think about my PlayStation, I know of games I'm already going to get. Like I know I'm getting Ghost. I know I'm getting The Last of Us 2. Death Stranding, no. But I know of games I'm already planning on getting that I'm interested in Dreams. I already know based off of what they keep showing stuff well in advance, games that I am interested in and games I'm not interested in. Concrete Genie, is it? Whatever that is, I'm not interested in that. Whatever they showed that State of Play. Majority of those games I'm not interested in.
They in the bushes.
Yeah, they ain't in the bushes, but they show games. They show a lot of games. You know what I'm saying? And so that's my main issue is that you're not showing anything. And I actually had this conversation with Xbot and Mooch and Crap and those guys on Crossfire last Friday.
Yes, I remember this. Yeah,
and we were really kind of getting into it because Xbot was like, "No, they should hold some stuff back for 2020," and I'm like, what? You're not in a position to hold anything back at all.
I can't agree with
everything that you have that can be shown right now. Show it at Xbox. Show it at E3. Show it at VGA. Show everything you got when it's available to be shown.
Oh, especially at this E3 where you have the stage to yourself, pretty much.
Show everything because what's guaranteed. Well, I'm pretty sure it's guaranteed is that. Undead Labs isn't going to be ready to show anything yet. Compulsion is probably not going to be ready to show anything yet. Obsidian is not going to be able to show the game that they're developing that isn't the Outer Worlds yet. So showing everything you can show right now doesn't mean the cupboard is bare for 2020. You're going to have games to show then too because you have just as many studios as Sony does now, and are likely probably going to surpass Sony with that, considering that they're still out there trying to get more devs. And I don't know about these rumors, but some 2 devs out of the recent 3 rumors have been mentioned by insiders before as devs that Microsoft is trying to get under their umbrella. So more than likely they're going to surpass Sony. And their goals, as they've told their investors, is to be able to have one AAA game drop every quarter. You gotta have at the minimum 20 developers under your umbrella to even make that be a reality. So show me the games. Like if this is your goal, that's a lot of great, nice talk, but I have yet to see any tangible evidence of anything that's any different than back when you had 5 devs.
It's about principalities.
The totality.
Yeah. Show me the money. That's what
yeah. Show
me the games.
I used to be with slow-mo. I mean, used to be against slow-mo on that, saying, man, E3 is right around the corner. Just wait till then. They don't want to really show stuff like this at this type of event. But I'm more and more coming around to them because at this point now, we're in a situation where you have to start getting people excited for the future. It's like right now, like you're about to come out with a discless Xbox.
Future.
Well, you're coming out with a discless Xbox literally sometime in a few weeks, and you're announcing it tomorrow. Why would somebody go out and buy that system? I mean, a discless Xbox isn't for anybody that already has an Xbox. You already have one, so why would you go out and buy a discless one? You want to sell it to people that haven't jumped into the generation. And if that's the case, letting those people know what's coming in the pipeline and letting those people know that these games will still play on your Xbox One S when it comes out is very beneficial to the bottom line right now. And waiting another 2 months until E3 to like basically just blow your all wide at one time is not a good business decision right now, because guess what? If they talk about it now, they could talk about it again in 2 months, because at E3, they're going to probably have more than enough to talk about, because Sony's not going to be there. So all these developers are going to want to be on somebody's stage to talk about their game. Exactly. And Microsoft pretty much has the pick of the litter. So even if you blow your wad on your own games, you'll still have third-party games to help back you up the rest of the way.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want your game. You don't want Ninja Theory's game getting overshadowed and not talked about because you had Cyberpunk again on your stage, and Cyberpunk showed more. You have Inside Xbox where you can show Ninja Theory's game tomorrow, and it will be the talk of the town for the next 2 weeks.
Yep.
Versus it being at E3 and everybody talks about it for the 10 seconds. You know, for the entire time it shows 10 seconds after, and then they stop talking about it once the next game is up. Like this is the internet era. You now have more options in order to be able to reach your consumer. You have different ways to do this. Twitter is a thing. Use it properly and stop arguing with fanboys. Like And I don't want to get on Xbox again, because again I respect the hell out of Xbox, and I respect his passion for the platform. But if you wait until 2020 to really start unloading all of these games that you're working on, potentially you can miss out. You're missing out on a huge opportunity. They don't really know what Sony's going to do. What if Sony does PSX later this year, announces the PS5, and says it's launching March 2020?
That's what I think is going to happen too.
You don't show all your games, right?
Hey B, if this happened, you were the true Nostradamus of gaming, man.
Yeah. Be Money Nostradamus or something. Whatever you make that, because he did call it like a year ago. I give props to you if that is how it turns out.
Hey B, we gotta start writing down your predictions, man, because you said some things. True. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, I heard that. B said that like a year ago.
Yeah, but if it does turn out that way, you just miss your opportunity to get everyone looking at you and waiting for your, like, dropping games that people will say, hey, you know, I'm interested in that before the PS5 comes out. Because if you're waiting to 2020, people already have the PS5 in their hands. With Last of Us 2, with Ghost of Tsushima, with Death Stranding, and not knowing what the hell is going on. You're going to be doing that, and it's too late at that point. So
you 6 months behind.
And 6 months. You get this whole 18. We're not going to show a game unless it's about 18 the 24 months away from launch. That's some nonsense. Cut that crap out. That's scared. My balls ain't dropped. Kind of management.
Damn.
Come on, really?
No, we'll just keep it real. Like, it's all about scale, how they felt, how they got reacted to by Scalebound and Fable Legends. And look, games get canceled. Nintendo cancels games. Sony cancels games. Everyone cancels games. You can't let the reaction of the hardcore community change.
It's business, man.
It's business. It is what it is. If you make enough games, canceling a couple of games ain't gonna mean nothing, because there's other games coming out. The fact that they didn't have a lot of games coming out is the reason why people made a big deal about Scalebound and Fable Legends. And honestly, as someone who was in the beta for Fable Legends, you didn't want that game because it was not good. And it looked amazing. Probably one of the best looking games I've seen on Xbox at the time, but it was boring, super boring, and it wouldn't have released well. But hey, people act like, you know, that doesn't matter, because hey, here we are, and there are very few games that are, you know, first party for the platform. So it's just, you're gonna have to making more games is going to alleviate that issue. When you have so many games, like The Last Guardian took forever to come out, but people completely forgot The Last Guardian existed until it showed up at E3, because there were so many more games to play. Like that's where you need to have it at.
And the sales didn't do that well because of that.
Yeah.
People just forgot about the game.
Yeah, and it wasn't that good, to be honest. And so, I mean, it is what it is. But you're gonna have duds. You're gonna have duds like the duds they had last year with Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2. Like those duds don't hit as hard and as loud when you got other content that's quality to back it up. Hey, State of Decay 2 wasn't that great. But then, hey, there's this other game that's within like coming out in another 2 months that's gonna be the bomb, and it's good. Okay. State of Decay 2 gets completely forgotten. Oh well, do better next time.
Hey, Ryan Landis in the chat says, "Come on, guys, stop it. You know you are waiting for Stadia."
No, I'm not. I'm not fools, Ryan. I ain't
fools. Look, man, we coined it, man. You are part of the Fugle squad.
I'm not. I coined it as a joke. I wasn't.
No, man, you ran with it though, man. He said we the Fugles, and you got everybody in this freaking community calling us that.
I will never say that.
I said you and Enrique out here fugling, and then everyone's like, "Oh, here we go. This is what it is." You and Enrique, especially Enrique. Enrique got pie charts and
all I know
PowerPoint presentations on why like streaming is going to be the future in 2023, and I'm like, this man got Fugle on the brain, and he both of you guys.
You inspired my Fugelness because you turned me on to 5G.
Look, man. Shout out to Jack Bujani on Weapon Wheel. He even said it. He's like, yeah, man, they were talking about that, I think, on Basement Radio Podcast. They was over there doing their Fugle little thing, and I was like, oh shoot. I said it just spread it.
It's ready.
When he said that on Weapon Wheel yesterday?
Yeah. No, not yesterday. He said a couple weeks, like a month ago.
Yeah, like right after
the first show we did after Stadia got announced.
Yeah,
we're talking about we coined the phrase Fugle. Yeah.
Hey, we gotta make some t-shirts.
Dog, that actually could be a shirt you could actually make.
Had a really nice it was some kind of
modification
to his profile pic. It's a pic of him, and it had a hat and it had Fugle on it, but it was it was kind of like in the same design as Google with the whole like the different letters being different colors, but it was just an F instead of the G.
Not my Fugle.
Yeah, we're Fuglers. Nothing wrong with that.
I think we might have to make a shirt, man. We could probably sell a bunch of them.
Fugler, I am Fuglers are like almost one step away from having a tinfoil hat and.
Oh my goodness! All right, let's get to our last topic of the evening.
Hurts my soul.
Yeah, is Sony really for the gamers? That's been their mantra this console generation. And I don't know, Jason. Here's Jason Schreier again.
Come on, bro. You know Jason
the answer, huh?
You know the answer to this question.
Oh, I know, but I got to throw it out there. We actually did talk about this on the Higher Lords. I'm like, nah, if you're gonna say you're for the gamers and you're gonna be for consumers, you cannot say things like we want people to associate Destiny with PlayStation 4, even if that means screwing over other players. Parentheses. This all according to Jason Schreier. What went on behind the scenes when Destiny when Bungie actually looked to implement cross-save, cross-progression with Destiny 1. Sony said, no. That ain't going to happen. So, I don't know. What do you guys think about this?
If Sony really wanted people to associate Destiny with PlayStation, maybe when Bungie pushed the idea to them back in 2010 or 11 or whenever it was, they should have accepted it and allowed publish the game. Then block whatever you want, cross progression to PC. You publish the game, you paid for it, you're the publisher, but you didn't do that, and you just have marketing rights and some exclusive content, timed exclusive content. Like, come on,
that's beyond timed exclusive content, though.
Yeah, it's the most egregious.
It's beyond timed.
What you say, B?
Go ahead, B.
Yeah, and they kind of they like best friends with Activision too. So that was kind of like a backdoor handshake type thing with Activision. I'm sure it was.
Oh yeah. But it's the most egregious exclusive content I've ever seen. It's for a full year, and then actually some of it never actually reached the other platform. That's just wild.
Not until the next game came out, at least.
Yeah, but no one cared at that point because no one was playing the older game. But to say no, you can't move your PS4 content to PC. This had nothing to do with Xbox whatsoever. You can't move it to PC. It's crazy. It's crazy. But but it's I think this is one of those things where Sony is starting to the arrogant Sony is showing its ugly head again, because like you can't keep doing things like this and think it's not going to get out. Like devs talk to people, like how they
remember
the interview.
Remember when it came out and Sean Lane said, "Oh yeah, we're down with crossplay,"
Yeah,
the dev came out and said, "No,
that's not true." Yeah, that got counted real fast. Like you can't be out here lying in interviews and then expect it not to blow back on you. It's just not. It doesn't work that way. And Sony has had it good this gen. When they launched the PS4, the Wii U was out and it was bombing spectacularly. And Xbox completely took a gun and shot themselves in the face.
Implode.
Right before launch. They hit great, and they made a lot of good decisions as far as investing in first party back before this gen started, so that by the time we got to like these past 2-3 years, some really great content exclusive to their platform has come out. They've made a lot of great decisions, but now going into next gen, I'm seeing some like you just can't, like the overall goodwill that you have been built up and the confidence that gamers have in you that they don't have in other platform holders. It's starting to erode when you do things like this. So yeah, it's this kind of stuff has got to end. Like if they really don't want to lose any kind of mind share going into next gen, they gotta stop doing crap like this. This doesn't hurt you at all.
Yeah,
it's allowing it to go to PC, and literally it's just because you got some exclusive content, like on guns and whatnot. They may be on the PC platform that they couldn't originally get on the PC platform. It's not like if I just started a Destiny 2 profile, never played on PlayStation, I'm still gonna be able to get those games on PC. I can't, because they originated from the PlayStation platform. And if anything, it's marketing your platform. If you want those games, go buy the game on PlayStation and you'll be able to get that stuff. It's just like there's really no purpose to this, but just being basically, I'm not going to play ball on anything.
But what did you imagine it would benefit Sony too? Like they would probably recoup some of the blowback of maybe other people saying, you know what, yeah, I have the Xbox version, but like you said, Slimo, I want to go with the PlayStation version now. I can carry my character over. Now I'm going to go and buy that game on the PlayStation platform, where I probably otherwise wouldn't have done so, because now I can get these weapons and I can carry my character over. I don't have to start from scratch. So it almost seems like a win-win for everyone, I would imagine.
Well, I think it would have been on Xbox too, but if you ever watched any live stream from Bungie when they talk about this stuff, they don't talk about Xbox at all. The only time they talk about Xbox is when they're doing Bungie bounties for Xbox, which they very rarely do.
They can't talk about Xbox.
They can't talk about Xbox at all. They can't show, like, if you ever watch them play the game, they can't have Xbox controllers on the desk. They can't. It's all PlayStation stuff, and they're really shackled to that. So I think it would have been on all platforms. But when this quote came out from Jason Schreier, they probably just talked about PlayStation because of just the fact that they never can talk about Xbox as a platform.
Yeah, and that's something I think Lord Sovereign on the Iron Lords that was talking about that. They were talking to which dev were they talking to? They were talking to Remedy. They were talking to Remedy about Control, and they had said something about the PC version. They asked whether the game would support ray tracing on PC, and the guy looked around like a Sony rep was going to like appear.
Yeah.
I have a puff of smoke right beside him and like, answer the question, motherfucker. Like that was one, and they said, nah, we can't talk about anything unless it's about on the Sony platform right now. And I'm just like, wow. Like
that's that marketing dollar, man.
Marketing dollar. They putting money behind that marketing. I tell you, you can't even mention the other platforms or any feature that won't be on the PlayStation platform. It's crazy.
Well, I guess the way I feel about this situation, it's probably going to shock people. I'm not even mad about it. It's being a person that's played Destiny for as long as he's played it on the Xbox platform and never really cared about it. I also played on PC. I understand business. This is a business decision, and I can definitely understand it. And the amount of money Sony had to give up for this has to be astronomical, because you don't just give 1 year exclusivity on DLC. I mean, even Activision only gives 30-day exclusivity on Call of Duty, which is a bigger franchise. So Destiny had a whole calendar year. That lets me know that Sony was like, hey, we're going to promote the hell out of your game. We're going to promote it like no other. You couldn't see it. Like literally,
look at all the commercials for Destiny.
Yeah.
Look how extravagant they were. They weren't regular game commercials.
Oh, no, it's a high budget. I mean, you could tell. I mean, these were like,
there is one thing I will always say about a Destiny trailer. When they talk about Destiny, they blow your mind away. Now, if the final game ends up being what you wanted to be, it's completely different. But those trailers get you hype. And Sony knows what they're doing around that marketing. And I can understand them saying, we want this to be synonymous with PlayStation because of all the money and dollar signs they put behind it. And this is where I go back to that whole Bungie made the bed that they're going to lie and sleep in, because that's what happens. Don't go out saying, oh, well, we wanted to do this, but Sony, our relationship with Sony says we can't do it. Well, you guys knew you were going to be able to do stuff like this just because of the marketing deal you had in place. Now, do I want this to be something that is a reality now that Activision is completely out of the picture? Because this is the thing. I don't know if Activision had a say in this. Like, they were the ones that garnered this deal because they do have a better relationship with Sony than most other developers. I don't know if Bungie or Activision, or if it was a combination of the two. I just know that Activision is not over the head of Destiny anymore. I am expecting to see something like this come to fruition when September's DLC comes around.
You think we're going to get cross progression then?
We better get cross progression, because why would you? Okay, so we all know the ties of Activision end in September. That's it. Ends in September. So that means any new marketing deal for what Destiny has going forward is going to be on what Bungie makes it be. So I'm looking at it in a situation, if this news comes out and you're saying, oh, we want to do crossplay, but Sony said we can't do it because they want to be synonymous with PlayStation. Well, you kind of just put yourself in a corner. Now, the next DLC or whatever comes out in September or whatever comes out after that needs to have cross-platform play in it, because that's what we want now, because you made a big deal of making sure Jason Schreier knew about this. And another thing about Jason Schreier, I always wonder, does he know about all this stuff at the same time? He just releases it little by little because he knows all, like, did he like just recently go back to Bungie and talk to people there? Because it seems like he knows a lot of
stuff. I think he's known that for a very long time.
He sat on it for a while.
And he sat on
it, and it just like he just felt like mentioning it during a podcast,
and maybe
in the midst of a conversation.
Maybe he was like, "Hey, don't." Maybe they said to him, "Don't say anything." And now that they're separated from Activision, it's kind of like, "Hey, Jason, what you feel free to share." Or
because they're likely probably not going to re-up with Sony after September, considering that Sony has blocked features and things that they were trying to do for their gamers that would have made things, especially considering the time period that they did that. Back then, things were very bad for Destiny and Bungie during that time period.
So
the mind share was very low for the game.
I want to go to the live chat real quick. We don't do the console war stuff here, and Brett, but
not at all.
Want to address Mr. Johnny Wellman, and I appreciate the comments. You you do make comments, after our videos go up on YouTube. But the comment of why would you play on a PlayStation? It's a second-rate console with second-rate technology. Yeah, Mr. Wellman, I want to ask you something, sir. Were you were probably playing on a less powerful console early on the console generation on the Xbox One OG. So I don't know why you would say that, because that would probably be contradictory to what you were gaming on before the Xbox One X came out. So I just wanted to point that out, because
we were playing on dumpsters before the Xbox One X came out.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like, it's a little, I appreciate the comments, but it's a little disingenuous.
I enjoy my dumpster, but still, it was a dumpster.
Yeah. I don't understand the whole what is a second-rate console. I don't get that. But second-rate technology. Okay, the base PS4 is still more powerful than the Xbox One S, which is the base Xbox. So where's the second rate at? I mean, that's not really a valid argument. And plus,
and if technology is important to you, Mr. Wellman, we're not trying to pick on you, but just pointing out the nonsense of console warring. If technology is important to you, why would you be gaming on a console? Why wouldn't you game on a PC? Anyhow,
that energy, man, $500 could have went a long way on a PC in 2013.
Facts.
Didn't have to buy a console, bro.
Oh boy.
But now look, we ain't about the console war here, man. We love all platforms. We just want great games. And if it like how earlier we were going in on Microsoft and not having the games, now we going in on Sony for their bullshit and blocking features.
We are equal opportunity haters on all consoles and lovers.
Facts. And you Steam fanboys can get it too. We decide to talk about y'all nonsense with Epic. Everybody can get this work.
Yeah. Oh my God. Let me tell you, I know people say that it's business, that would cost Sony money, like in, transactions. And it's like, not necessarily, because a lot of people will double dip. Like if you can carry like for Destiny, you can carry your progression over to another one. That means now you're going to buy an expansion. You've already had it on one, but you still need to buy that expansion on the other, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to buy it. So where does that hurt Sony if making that money?
Yeah, and on the base, first of all, it doesn't hurt Sony at all. And on the base level, why do you care what hurts Sony? Sony? Do you get any kind of royalties from Sony? You are a gamer. This is hurting you.
Yep.
This is less features for you. And somehow you care more about Sony's pockets than your ability to be able to do what you want with the progress that you've made. And the developer is trying to help you out and potentially help you if you want to say, play your game with your progress on better hardware. Somehow you care less about that and care more about Sony's pockets. What?
And that's also a very pro-consumer thing that Bungie's trying to do. And those are the kind of things we should champion. We shouldn't champion things like developers releasing games that are broken, not finished at $60 full retail, where a year later we get content, or the game actually gets patched 2 months later that works correctly. I mean, the fact that Bungie wanted to do this is the kind of stuff that we should champion, because it's pro-consumer. It benefits us. And not just does it benefit us, it actually benefits the developers and the industry, because it creates a situation where now we're not just going to buy one version of a game, but we're going to buy multiple versions of a game potentially. And that means more money in the pockets of developers. And it also means it benefits us, because we can take, our saves, our characters, whatever it is, whatever we're working on, we can take it and play it on another platform. It's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah. I think this is the thing I really just hate about this whole console war thing, and just people shitting on games that you shit on games. Destiny is probably one of the most divisive games that released this generation. Half the people in this community love it. The other half of the people say, what the fuck is Destiny? It's a trash game. Who cares? Look at Weapon Wheel. Everybody on there thinks Destiny's trash. But the problem is that game, that developer that released that game, guess what they did? They released the game not once, but twice, and it didn't have any major flaws with it. It actually was a full-fledged game when it released, compared to all these other freaking games out here that we buy piecemeal and hope work day one when we buy them. So I'm willing to give a developer like this a second chance when it comes to just trying their games out and really listening to them when they say, hey, we want to be about the gamer. That's the one thing Bungie has always been about. They've been about Bungie.net, getting a community. That's how Halo got as big as it was, because of that, because of Bungie's willingness to bring the community into the game. And so when people say, well, they're just saying this now because, you know, Sony, everybody's beating down on Sony about this crossplay thing. No, Bungie's always been about community and bringing people together. So when this news came out, it didn't shock me at all. So people just need to make sure that they remember that when they talk about certain developers, and remember where those developers came from, versus just speaking out of the left side of their mouth because they're listening to people on YouTube that make their own content and don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah. Hey guys, we have a question from Glorious War. He wants to know, do we think there's going to be more money heading next generation with increased competition coming in the ring? Amazon and Google got the blank checks out for exclusives.
Well, you think people like Stadia and them buying more exclusive rights and stuff like that, or just more money?
Yeah, I mean, exclusive, you know, buying exclusive third-party deals, stuff like that.
Oh my God, if that happens, man.
Well, I mean,
didn't I say this last year though? This was the problem I was talking about.
Yeah,
when you know Microsoft was buying on studios, I was like, okay, this is all good and well right now, but we know Amazon's coming.
Yep.
We know Google was coming. Like, Sony isn't gonna stand by and take it, you know, keep getting punched in the face. Like, so what do you think is gonna happen?
Do you think Amazon
studios and games are gonna get bought up, and everybody's gonna be mad, or they're gonna be happy?
Do you think Amazon could go out and buy EA and stuff like that?
No, but I think they can have exclusive EA games.
That's true.
Which is what I foresee over, you know, them going out and buying like major studios and stuff like that. I can see a lot more exclusive games coming out now, over, you know, them going out and just buying studios, because I mean that's the way to do it. Go out there and publish the game and get the publishing rights.
I'm not certain about Google's commitment to. Okay, so like before,
come on, they are
wait.
They are committed, Slomo.
This is what their commitment to exclusive content is what I mean. That's why I'm not quite sure about, because what I expected, and maybe it's just because they haven't already done it, but like the fact that they basically got Jade Raymond in like 5 minutes before GDC, and they're already trotting her out and saying we're starting our own first party studio. It's like, that's all you got? Like, that's it? You just got her. So what if she didn't? What if that didn't get locked up? You know, before GDC, what was you going to do? Have a guy come out and do magic tricks? Hey. Like what were you going to have? Like, what was your announcement going to be?
Randy Fishburne wouldn't have been there.
Yeah, well, true, but I thought Google was already working on.
They probably already had first party. You have to imagine. I mean, Phil Harrison's there. You got to imagine they had first party already. I mean, with Phil being there and being part of the launch of the original PlayStation and being part of Xbox when Xbox was in its infancy, I would find it hard to believe that Google didn't have first party already in play and projects in place, and Jay was kind of like the icing on the cake.
Look, I'm not certain of it yet, because Google and Amazon don't have any kind of reputation in this industry yet. They haven't shown they know what to do in this industry yet. And so until then, I'm not going to say, well, because they should, before, you know, launching their platform, they should have some exclusive content, that they do. Yes, they should have exclusive content. If any one of us was in a executive room at Google and we're like, yeah, so what incentive are we giving gamers to get on Stadia? And they're like, oh, streaming. Okay, no, what's the incentive? Like, what games do we have that aren't going to be available anywhere else? That's the kind of questions that we would have asked, but I'm not sure that they got gamers out there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Phil Harrison knows what he's doing, but if Phil Harrison gets overruled, so be it. Or if Phil Harrison says, hey, look, we will need to invest this amount of money on just first party in order to really be taken seriously in this industry. And they look at them, they look at the price, and it's like, yeah, Google got the money, but sometimes Google's investment in new ventures and in industries is fickle. You know what I mean? Like they may jump in there and they may decide to do something, and then they out of nowhere they just change their mind and jump out.
And that's why I think they would go out and just buy exclusive content, because we clearly see that their first party is not ready. Like,
oh yeah, absolutely not ready.
You know what I mean? Like after the whole GDC thing, I said that they weren't ready. You know what I mean? And everybody's like, oh no, they're ready, they're ready. Like, no, that showed me that they weren't ready at all. You know what I mean? So there's no games there. There was nothing that showed me that you were, you know, presenting anything to me as a gamer as far as games go. So that's why, you know what I mean, I feel like they would go out and get exclusive games from EA or Activision or, you know what I mean, from whoever to kind of bolster a reason to even use Stadia. Because if you know what I mean, Microsoft's things come out, their streaming thing comes out and it works just fine, then I'll just use that, or Verizon or Amazon or whoever else has a streaming service that works. You know what I mean?
Yes, now.
Yeah,
you know, like,
I would just use that instead. Like there would be no incentive for me to go to Stadia. Like, why would I go there? They're going to be just like Epic, where they money hat and get exclusive content on their platform. That's the reason why you go there.
Yeah, it's a great point. It's a great point, B. I'm gonna go to live chat real quick. Glorious Horse says Jason said, I'm assuming Jason Schreier said that Google is going to buy exclusives from third parties. Ryan Landis says Google. They have three controller. They have controllers in three colors. They are committed. Glorious Horse says Sega working with Google apparently.
Yeah, but Sega's not gonna give them exclusive games. That's not how Sega rolls.
Money's right. You never know.
Money's right, man. You're talking about one company that is damn near close to $1 trillion market cap. You know, what's $10 billion to that company?
Glorious Horse says, bro, I might jump on Stadia if there's a new Jet Set Radio. Facts. Can you imagine Fantasy Star Online?
You know, I think more than any other. You know how like those rumors came out last year that Microsoft was going to buy EA, buy Valve, buy what was the other one they were going to buy? It was EA, Valve, and one more.
Are they going to buy Sega?
Sega. No. It was Sega. But look, it makes more sense to me that Amazon or Google would buy a Sega because Microsoft already has like a presence in the industry. You don't need to go as far as buy a Sega or EA. What they did was the best decision. They bought some AA mid-level talented developers and gave them the budgets to become potentially AAA. We'll come whatever the hell you want. You got the creative freedom to do what you want. You now have the budget. That was the better decision than buying an EA and then basically having to make the decision on whether to pull their games away from other platforms, and now it's making less money. Your investors aren't going to be happy with that. Now, that versus a Google or Amazon that has zero presence in this gaming industry, it makes more sense for them to go buy a Sega to immediately get that presence, immediately get that reputation. And now you have games that they work on that are going, you can make exclusive to your platform and nowhere else. It works. But I don't know if they're going to make that happen because I'm pretty sure Sega isn't going to come cheap.
No.
Think about PlayStation if they want to.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they could. Yeah.
People have been saying that. Oh, we're gonna buy Sony.
Well, the biggest question is, have you seen the rumors? Microsoft is rumored to buy 3 more studios.
Yeah, IO Interactive and another one.
Sopos, I think. And what is Relic Entertainment, which all three of them have been rumored to be in talks with Microsoft for a while. So this rumor isn't really new or anything. Clobril was talking about IO Interactive late last year and saying that there was a letter of intent out there. I'm pretty sure IO Interactive is likely a done deal, but the other two have just been speculated about multiple times. So who knows?
Yeah, I'll tell you what I think about this. I don't give a care about more studio acquisitions at this point. I'm just ready to see games.
Yeah.
That's what I want. That's what, I understand that they're trying to build out this portfolio to, build out Game Pass and have more content for that. But at this point, this goes back to the whole thing Slomo was talking about. What are we waiting for? Show us something that these studios are doing, because right now they're just a name on a board. You haven't done anything with them yet.
That's all you got. Yeah, a nice fancy backdrop of Xbox and like a list of companies under it. That's all you got so far.
Yeah,
and that's all everybody else talks about. How many studios that Microsoft got now?
Well, what do those studios have?
If they ain't got no games, they don't mean nothing to me, man.
Yeah,
exactly.
Show me the games. I want to see them.
So you can buy how many studios they got? 14 now? 13?
14 now.
13. They're 13 now.
So
Sony is 14.
So Slomo's gonna buy, I will say, 11 of the 13 games that get announced by these studios.
And these fanboys collecting their like Pokemon cards. Like every time there's a room, ooh, that's a good studio.
That's somebody make a gift. Somebody make a gift with Microsoft cards and Pokemon playing cards.
That's a good gift. That is perfect. Ooh, that's a good studio. Let's scoop that one up.
Gotta catch them all.
It was killing me. It was killing me when they signed Ninja Theory.
Pokeball at Remedy. Get them.
When they signed Ninja Theory and dudes are like, oh, they made some pretty good games. And then all of a sudden Hellblade became like I'm like, yo, man, they've been making games for a long time.
Yeah, they have.
Y'all didn't give a damn because
I can see the Insomniac employee dodging Pokeballs right now. Yeah.
So, or them throwing Pokeballs at him, and Sony puts up the Sony umbrella in front of him, like, "We'll save you."
Right. No, I'm. It's cool because it showed that there's like some kind of life that they're trying to like maybe be in the game. But like you said, until you actually see something tangible, it's still nothing. It's still talk.
Yeah,
it's like somebody saying, "Man, I got to find this girlfriend. She just don't live around here."
Right. That's the funny thing, because all I know as of right now, all we know is what two studios are doing. Officially know what two studios do. We know 343 is doing Halo Infinite, and we know the Coalition is doing Gears 5. That's all we know right now. We got rumors of what people were doing.
No. Their devs have come out and talked about games that they are working on. I've seen almost all of the developers say they're working on a game of exclusive content for Microsoft platform, like Microsoft devices or whatever.
Oh, no. I know. All of them have said they're working on games. I'm just saying, but of the ones that we know of, we only know the name of 2 of them.
Yeah, true.
That's what I'm talking about. We only know about Halo and Gears. Even we don't even know if there's going to be a Forza this year. Oh yeah,
there won't be. There won't be.
There will be a Forza.
No, they're taking it. They're taking it off of
Forza game that got announced today.
What?
That's not on every platform but Xbox.
That's all Forza this year.
I've been asking them to make a street racing game for years, man. They gave me this bullshit.
Not even on Xbox.
Give us Midnight Club back or something.
Yeah, something to say Midnight Club. It's funny. Warrior tweeted something earlier tonight. He said, "I'd seen Xbox associated with something excluded a console called Xbox." Wonder what he's talking about. Just an old ass gamer's opinion, console gamer's opinion. Got a point.
He's had some funny tweets lately, man.
Yeah, he is. Got a point, man. You got a point. Slomo, your tweet is out of control, man.
Hey,
you read it? It's pretty silly, man. This dude is wild fan base.
Got Prince just shaking his head.
Yo, I'm sorry. Like, why is it on everything? Microwaves, toasters, refrigerators, but not on Xbox. Someone explain this to me.
Doesn't make sense, man. I agree with you 110%. Doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make any sense. I don't care that the game is trash. That's what people kept telling me. You don't want that game. I wasn't gonna play it anyway. It's not the point. The point is
that you're Smokey.
Yeah. That's all it's about, man. Look, if you are making a game, if you have a community that potentially maybe don't want to play games on mobile, on iOS or Android. They don't have a PC that is capable of running the game. They have an Xbox. You just basically told them, you don't want this game. I ain't giving it to you. So I'm making the decision for you. You're not going to buy it because it's not going to be available. Sorry. That's not good enough. Like
they should have just did the expansion like they did with the Fast and Furious thing.
Yeah,
like $20.
Yep,
release it. You know what I mean? Because there's no major Forza game this year. Just release it on consoles. Give us a little taste of what could be in the future, and everybody would have been fine, man. But you release an iOS game, nobody can put their hands on. You know what I mean? As far as console gamers is concerned, and you know what I mean? It was a different game, and you just put Forza's name on it. It's like a slap in the face, man.
Ryan killing me right now. He says maybe David Buster's will get another exclusive.
Wow. They did get an exclusive. He's not lying. That Halo arcade.
Yeah, they did.
Hey man, that thing's that maybe that exclusivity with David Buster's ran out because I seen one at Kalahari. I was like, what? Is it Kalahari too?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's too
man. Microsoft putting their games everywhere, even where people could walk around in a pool, but not on an Xbox.
Oh, wow.
Meanwhile, Gears Tactics, where is that? Is that going to Xbox?
They're saving that for E3, Slow-Mo.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gears pops up. Gears pop up be at E3, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
They're gonna say something about accessibility and all the games that they announced in last year's E3 that was gonna be on PC are now coming to Xbox along with Age of Empire. That's what they're gonna say.
Ridiculous that you would something so simple like that. You would wait until E3 to say.
Yeah. Hey guys, real quick, Glorious War says, "Watch out, guys! Apparently, there's Avengers Endgame leaks on YouTube."
Huh?
Oh man!
Don't watch anything with Avengers in it then for the next 2 weeks.
No, that doesn't matter because I saw Avengers Infinity War leaks from watching something completely unrelated. I was watching something that had to do with music. It was it was like a music podcast, and I looked down to the comments. Very first comment was Spider-Man dies in Infinity War. I was like, mother. Hey, that has nothing to do with Spider-Man.
That dude was trolling, man. He was. Do they got down votes on YouTube comments? I don't think they do.
They don't. They should.
They should. I want that shit to hell.
Man, let me ask you guys a question real quick before we dip. Because we've known for quite a while now, but you're definitely seeing like every day, like more and more and more people talking about Sony not being at E3, right?
Yeah.
In your heart, is it truly that big of a deal?
No.
Nope.
I've said this from the start. It's not a big deal, man. It's not a big deal.
But dudes they're making it a big deal, and it's just like
I don't think it's
dudes are acting like they won't be at E3. That's it for Sony. They're out of the game.
Yeah.
They're going a little too far there. They're suggesting that Sony is going to do nothing this year, which would be really ridiculous. Like they're not. No platform holder is that dumb. Like Sony is going to have something later this year, and there's something later this year they could not do at E3.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it'll be too much time between when they want to launch PS5 from E3. Like it's basically like you're going to show up at E3 2019 and showcase PS5 and then launch it potentially in the fall of 2020. That's way too much time since you already talked about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like they're just going to do it later this year and now E3 is now. If you could say it's a problem they're not at E3 if they literally go this entire year and do nothing.
Right.
They literally say they don't say anything. They cancel PSX later this year. They're not at the VGAs. They're not at Comic-Con. They're not at anything. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a massive L for Sony. What the hell are you doing? But we all know that's not happening. Come on, man.
Yeah. I think dudes are like they're taking it way, way out of proportion now. And then the thing you got to realize too is, it can be lonely on stage by yourself. Because sometimes, good or bad, having like somebody else there takes either some heat off of you or takes some of the focus off of you, right? So people have something to compare it to. it's great, you know, that Xbox is going to be at E3, but sometimes, yeah, the stage can be lonely when it's just you. There's reason, like, you know, big performers have opening acts. You know, you share the stage with somebody.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like when all eyes are on you, it's like you're under more scrutiny.
Look,
That's true.
This is what I think. Especially if this whole launch, which I think is true, the whole launch of the PS5 being in March, early March of next year. Sony's going to do their event in probably October, November, which is PlayStation Experience. And they're looking at it like, well, do we really need to show the same stuff twice? They know, why spend however much money on E3 to hype up the fan base for something that they can just hype them up all over again with the same stuff 4 or 5 months later. They're looking at that as a calculated risk because I agree with some people. They should be there because it's a gaming expo and it's about the gaming, but business related, should they be there if they're not going to talk about PS5? If they're not ready to talk about PS5 until October, then there's no reason for them to be at E3 because they're just going to show everything they showed before, which everybody doesn't want them to show.
Right.
Their showings for the last couple of events they've done, even their last PlayStation Plus experience or PlayStation experience, was horrendous. So that speaks a lot to it. You're spending money on something that people don't like. So people want to go into their feelings about, like, well, we still want you to be there. Well, you didn't like the offerings they brung you the last 2 times. So you really can't get mad because they made a business decision not to show up at this. Trust me, Sony will be at the next one. Sony will have some type of event either this year or the beginning of next year because they're going to ratchet up their expectations for PlayStation 5, and that's when people will be happy. This will be a non-story when they had their first event that they host on their own.
Oh, I agree with that.
People will forget all about this. It won't even matter.
What I'm saying. That's exactly it, Forte. Is like, you know, a little bit of time goes by, and you know, once E3 comes and goes, people are on to the next thing.
And people won't even think about Microsoft. This is the thing. People won't even be talking about Microsoft when that happens. Right. Microsoft's going to win E3 because they're by default, they're the only ones really there with Nintendo doing their Nintendo Direct. And 6 months later, Sony's going to come out and probably announce their PS5. And guess what? Xbox won't be talked about.
Yeah.
At all.
So it
doesn't matter.
So we already know they have this state of play or whatever the hell they call it. The little video promotions. So they're gonna let E3 roll by, and it's gonna be either late June or early July. They'll have an event. They'll announce state of play, and probably towards the end.
Sleepiness.
Probably towards the end, they'll announce PSX in the summer, like they do, and there'll be some big reveal at PSX. And at PSX, they'll announce PS5, and by March it'll be out. PSX will be in December, like it always is. It's going to follow the same cadence as Nintendo. Just like when the Switch was about to be announced, like they were super quiet, you know what I mean, all year long, and then we waited to December. They finally showed us what the Switch was. March it was out, killed the game. It's going to do the same. They're going to do the same exact thing, following the same cadence. You know what I mean? So many people trashed them about PSX and how they didn't want to be in a crowd sitting watching other people on stage talk about games. They want to see games. The biggest way to show and prove on that is to announce a brand new console and show brand new games. First time with all your fans in the audience, all the biggest people, all the biggest fans in the world who love your console, have them center stage in the auditorium and announce your brand new console with all the brand new games that are coming.
They're probably gonna do that same thing that Microsoft tried to do, and they're gonna be like, you know, like The Last of Us 2 was amazing on PS4, but now it looks like this on PS5. Boom. Yeah. Cross generation game, you know.
Yep. Well, gentlemen, hey, we're at the 20 after mark. Do need to wrap up the podcast, but no, great topics. And hey, B, man, great having you back, man. Know you've been busy lately, so definitely appreciate you hopping on later on to join us, man. We miss you. Good to have you back.
Yeah, it's great to be back, man. It's been super crazy, you know, trying to get this house together, man. It's so many improvements every day, but it's definitely coming together, man. I'm super excited.
Nice, man.
Nice.
Yes, all right. And B, where can everyone find you, man?
Yeah, man, you just follow me on Twitter, same @name bmoney101. I should be returning back to podcast this Saturday. Hopefully, if I get everything wrapped up with the house, so I'll be on there as well at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. So come through and check us out.
Awesome, man. Eric Jackson.
Yeah,
Where can people find you, man?
You can find me on Twitter, EC Jackson with an X, and now EC Jackson across platforms on Xbox and PlayStation now. Daddy's Home 247 is out of here. All saves and everything seem to be working. It's all good. Oh, the only one you can't find me on Switch under that because it's still got the phone number.
Yeah. That long ID number, yeah.
But you can find me on the Wii U as EC Jackson.
Nice. All right, man.
Yeah.
Yo, I never understood why they couldn't make that happen.
It's just proof. It's just proof that people want to know: is it a handheld or a console? What right now it's a handheld because it has print codes.
Yeah, phone numbers, yeah.
Just like the 3DS. So
too funny. All right, man. Gaming Forte, where can people find you, man?
Yo, Gaming Forte, Twitter, YouTube, and maybe on the Nintendo on PlayStation. Maybe I'll change it to that. Don't know yet. Seems like a lot of people aren't having issues with any of their games. I have a big library that I don't want to lose, so that may happen over the next couple of days. But really good show today, guys. Really appreciate us getting together. I'd rather have a show than go 2 weeks, 2 out of the last 3 weeks and not have one. So that was a really good thing you did today, Enrique.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, man. I definitely, it's like I'm leaving. I'm going out of town. I got to do it today. So no, I appreciate you guys. Kind of because it was kind of like last minute too. I was like, oh, by the way, can you guys do a show tonight? So no, I appreciate you guys being flexible.
We family, man. That's all that matters.
No doubt. All right, man. Well, Slow-Mo, what about you, man? Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Slow-Mo Backslap, as same name on the Xbox. I tried to get the same name on my PSN ID. Apparently, Slow-Mo Backslap is a bad word to PSN, and they said no, you can't have a backslap in your name, guy. And so I had to go do so. Now it's slow_mo_back_slap. Ha PSN, I beat you anyway. So yeah, that's my name on PSN now. It's violent. It's backslash. Oh no, they're so conservative. Look, sometimes it's crazy.
They go do a manual review of his channel and say, "Hey, we're gonna give you the temporary temp XXXXX and make you change it anyway."
Yeah, that probably will be happening in the 3. Look, I already have a backup in case they come at me. So my backup will be I need
somebody might take it.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it to myself. It's I already tested it to see if it works, and it does. So I'm gonna
put it in the DM so we can hear it.
Yeah.
All right, hold up real quick. I'm gonna put that in there. But yeah, also you can catch me on Scumcast Saturdays, 3:30 Central ish,
or whenever Lucas shows up.
Yeah, whenever Lucas is ready. Yeah, that's my backup, guys.
All right, awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm keeping that one to myself until unless Sony gets all uppity about it, then it's gonna go to that. That's even worse than my current. So hey, you guys better just settle down, Sony.
Too funny. Too funny. Hey. Oh boy. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Thank you, everyone in the live chat. You guys are fantastic every week. Appreciate the support. You guys hanging out with us. Remember, hit that like button if you haven't done so already, and that notification button lets you know, what upcoming podcast events we have coming up and whatnot. So you can give me a follow on the Twitters at BRAP_podcast. And hey guys, thank you again. We'll see you guys next week. Next week we'll actually be back to our regular scheduled podcast time of Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So other than that, everyone, please have a great rest of the week. We'll see you guys next Wednesday. Peace.
Peace.